ほら、ルフィ、今一緒に海賊になる仲間を探してるんだ。
Hello guys, welcome to my channel The Wandering Zoro, your go-to destination for anime-related content. And if you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out on our latest videos. In today's video, we're going to be diving into part 2 of the series. So be sure to stick around until the end, and let's get started. We see Class 1A just sitting on their own seats while Aizawa walks in. I saw your battle training yesterday, Aizawa sighs Midoriya. You're good, that's why U.A wants you. So don't let people's words affect your efficiency, Aizawa finished, and looked at his problem child. Said problem child is just looking outside while listening to his playlist. Izuku speaks while still looking outside. I know. I just thought U.A would be different. Sigh, people are stupid not to notice how amazing you are, problem child. Then Aizawa started to critique his other students, starting with Kaminari, you got into the hero course, so make sure you train your quirk. Todoroki, try to actually communicate with your teammate. The rest I'll pass on the papers on what I think you should improve. Don't worry, Uraraka. Midoriya already told me what your weak points are, so I could make one for you too. Aizawa finished. Then he started to inch closer to his lover, the sleeping bag. And there's something you need to do before homeroom ends, Aizawa said, adding a pause for dramatic effect, and putting his foot inside the sleeping bag. Some thought, is it another surprise test? You need to pick a class representative, Aizawa said, going fully inside his beloved sleeping bag. And the class proceeds to explode into chaos. People scream, pick me, or some random stuff, just to add to the noise like Izuku. Leedle, 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 lee, Izuku screamed, but everyone was too noisy. No one can even notice what other people are saying until. Enough, let's do a diplomatic vote, so we can assess who is the more trusted and qualified, Tin Man shouted, waking up Aizawa. Heh, buttes. Then Kaminari proceeds to get earphone jacked. Aizawa thought while still having his eyes closed, why do I always get the loud brats? How can we vote? We haven't known each other for long. Karo Azui voice her opinion. Yeah, the idiot form of Kaminari agrees. Ida's right, we can vote and see who has the highest, and whoever it is, they're the class representatives, Yaoyorozu said excitedly. I vote for Izuku, while Pony doesn't even hide that she's voting for her crush. Great, first you diss the Quirkless, and now you guys are mocking me by voting for me? Gee, thanks, Izuku said sarcastically. It's not like that, Midoriya-san, we really think you're the best vote. Momo defended on her vote. Even though she didn't vote for herself, she's the vice rep, while Izuku is the president. Izuku says, taking out his earbuds, and proceeds to clean his ear. You saying something? Now that's just rude, Midoriya-san, Momo said, offended. Remind you they're still in front of the class. And calling the Quirkless just weaklings, that they are the weak side of humanity, isn't? Izuku asked with a raised eyebrow. My father was the one that said those things. Momo tried to defend herself. But you agree, right? But Izuku keeps pushing the issue. No, yeah, hell no. I promote and stick up my butt. As the class rep, Izuku interrupt, walking back to his desk, hands inside his pockets while his playlist is on full blast. Thank you, Midoriya, for promoting me to be the class representative, Ida said, awkwardly bowing, while Izuku just keeps staring outside. I guess you have some form of PTSD, huh, problem child? Aizawa thought while getting up his sleeping bag. Hey Izuku, come sit with me, Pony said excitedly. She's currently sitting by herself, hoping that she can call Izuku for a one-on-one. Hey Pony, Izuku said with a small smile. Hey, I just want to thank you. You were the only one that was open-minded there, well, except for Azui, and maybe Jiru, Izuku said, digging into his Katsudon. No problem, and I don't judge people if they have a quirk or non. It's stupid to think like that. I judge someone based on how nice they are. Pony happily talks to her crush. It's just stupid. I thought U.A would be different, but I guess not. He said, looking down at his food. Hey, at least you have me, Pony said with a blush. Izuku looked at her happily. I guess I do, huh? He said, chuckled. So you're telling me that Erwin dies in Titan of the Walls. Wow, I really need to read the manga, Izuku said, talking about anime and mangas with Pony. And then Eden gets the elder Ti. Pony was telling the story, but was interrupted by Kirishima and Ishido walking up to them. Hey, Midori, Mina says, awkwardly shifting. Yo, Midobro said, Kirishima, still feeling the guilt. But Midoriya didn't even look at them, but Pony did, and is feeling a little pity for the two. Hey, Midori, can we talk? Mina said, She and Kirishima sat down at their table. Yeah, bro, we just were sorry for what we said. That was so unmanly. Even though we saw how strong you are, we still judged you because of a quirk. For that I'm so sorry, the shark boy said, putting his head on the table in a bow position. Me too, but before Mina can properly apologize, the school alarm system started blaring. Level 3 security breach, please evacuate. In an orderly manner, the message keeps repeating, while the students are not evacuating in an orderly manner. The students of U.A are seen pushing one another to get to the hallway, while the people outside of the cafeteria are seen trampling over each other. But we see our Retr0 just using his phone. TCH. Vulture Izuku said, annoyed. So he fixed it by hacking the sound system, and everybody calm down, it's only the media. What happened to being U.A students, huh? Where is the professionalism? TCH, please go back to your lunch, and whoever is injured, kindly guide them to recovery girl. Thank you. And the situations is already being taken care of, Izuku screamed, sounding annoyed. And when the students look outside, they saw multiple riot drones flying about, some even pointing their guns at people. TCH, Pony, Izuku yells, so he can be heard. Izuku, let's go back class now, and teacher fix this, Pony said, in jumbled up Japanese, and running up to Izuku and grabbing his arm. Sorry, but I need to go to the bathroom. I'll see you back in class, Izuku said, running off somewhere. This is a declaration of war. That's what Izuku heard after he reached the front of the school. And what's your plan? Izuku said behind the teachers. Ah, Izuku, good of you to join us. We heard your announcement, and thank you for defusing the situation at the cafeteria, Nizu said, looking at Izuku. Yeah, but you didn't answer my question, Izuku said, again looking directly at Nizu. First, we need to upgrade the security. Please help Power Loader to make more drones. And please check the security cameras. Hopefully the cam saw who was the one that disinterested the metal door. After that, please check if everything isn't checked. Aizawa and Midnight will help you check the files and facilities. If we've been bugged, please trace it back so we can raid the place. If there's nothing, then please head back to class, Nizu commanded while climbing up Aizawa's shoulder. Nothing was stolen. Nothing's out of place. Everything is the same as it always is. I already made a different type of drone to patrol the vents to see if something was placed. So far, nothing has been found. It could be a declaration of war, but it's stupid to declare that to a school, Izuku said to the gathered teachers in the meeting room. Well, we are the most prestigious school in Japan, said Ectoplasm, a man with seemingly no arms and only has wooden pirate legs. It can't be. Just that Namiri spoke her thought. It's not, Izuku finally putting the pieces together. Thereafter, All Might, Izuku said, looking at the staff members. Why would they attack a school just to get to me? Yagi asked his question. Because they can lure you out using the students as bait, putting your focus on saving rather than defeating, and because you're the symbol of peace, the only thing that the criminals can't overwhelm, so most likely they're after you, said Izuku, drinking his tea. But why attack a school? Mike shouted while Aizawa just activates his quirk and look at his boyfriend. Sorry, Sho Yamada said, blushing. Nizu, double the drones that are patrolling the area. Make sure that every off-campus facilities has 30 drones max, or at least drones fast enough to get to the off-campus facilities. Izuku said, standing up. I'll be going home now. Somewhere in a sketchy part of town, a bar called Grandma Giri's, there is a young adult male complaining why there was so many drones. It's like Cyberpunk 2077. What is the police working with you now? Tamura, calm down. Did you get what you were after? A calm, menacing voice said. Yes, sensei. But it seems that they upped the difficulty level, the young adult now named Tamura said, annoyed. Then do what you will. And remember, I'm always here to support you, the menacing voice said with malicious intent. Thank you, Sensei, Tamura said, looking at a TV screen with sound only on it. Today, Class 1A is going to an off-campus place called the USJ, or the Unforeseen Simulation Joint. All of the students are sitting inside the bus, talking, chatting with each other. Hell, even Izuku is talking to someone. So that's how Minma ended? Him and Sausage just blue spiny thingy and 1,000 crying babies. And they lose their arms, said Izuku, listening to Pony talk about anime. Yeah, but Minma got new arms. Sausage said he doesn't want one. He said it's to remind me of my sins, Pony explains, trying to do a masculine voice in Japanese. Whoa, that's so edgy, Izuku said excitedly, while him and Pony are listening to his playlist. But someone sees the two talking, almost like they're a couple. Man, Midori and Tsunatori are getting along. Huh? Mina said, looking kinda sad. That could be me, but I had to insult Midori. Accidentally, she thought, still looking at the two. While the heiress wants to fix her relationship with her classmate, when can I properly talk to him and say that I don't think of him that way? The tall, gorgeous girl was thinking while looking at Izuku, but was cut short by Azui answering Mina's early question. Well, he's the only one that can understand her, so it's understandable. Karo the frog chick croaked. We really need to apologize to Midobro property. Karo, I'm usually blunt. So Bakuga, how do you know Midoriya? Azui tried to talk with the ticking time bomb. Why should I tell you, Frog Beach? Bakuga said, with closed eyes, and is leaning back on his seat. I'm kinda curious as well, Bakuga and Ida yelled while doing his action arms. Shut up, for eyes, can't you see I'm trying to sleep? The lapdog said, standing up and looking at Tin Man in the eyes. Dude, it's only the third day and we already know your personality. It's garbage, smelling like poop, and sounding farts, the sigh the idiot tried to say while trying to sound intelligent. What is wrong with your vocabulary? We're here, so shut up, the teacher of the class said, stepping out of the bus while sounding like he haven't slept for 15 years. Uraraka says, jumping around in excitement, it's the Hero 13. Hello students, the Space Hero started today. We are gonna learn rescue. In Aizawa's class you learned what your limit is, and in All Might's class, you learned that your quirk can be a dange. The Space Hero explains while walking inside the big butt building. While Izuku and Pony were the ones to come in last, and when Izuku started walking towards the door, he felt dread. When he stepped into the building, his whole world turned into slow motion, his mind going a mile a minute. This feeling, the feeling of no escape, the feeling of defeat, the feeling of losing your life. Don't tell me we just walked into an ambush. When Izuku finished his thought, he's now fully inside, and the door behind him shut. Knew it. So he speed walks to Aizawa, not caring about the looks that he's receiving. And when he finally got there, 13 was explaining about her quirk. When he reached Aizawa, the man just gave him a "the fuck are you doing here?" look, but then Eraserhead the Vigilante spoke quietly. He called me by my hero name. The underground hero thought, realizing the Vigilante is serious. What is it? The hero replied in a hushed tone. Something's wrong. The air, you don't feel it? He said, looking around and looking at his phone. No signal, he mumbled, but the hero heard him loud and clear. An attack? Eraserhead asked, turning serious and readying his goggles and scarf. Yeah. The system should inform the school right about now. So that means we have 5 minutes before backup arrive, the young vigilante said, his hand inching closer and closer to his bag for his supplies. Do you think it was the people that broke into the school? Most probably, he said, taking out his gun, and realized something, but was brought back to reality by Aizawa. The drones should be here already. Power loader must have had a full shed, he mumbled while looking around. Eraserhead, I want Yaoyorozu said, but was cut off by Kirishima saying, Whoa, you even have fake villains. And they looked down the stairs. In front of the fountain, villains started to file out from a purple portal. Everyone get back, Yaoyorozu said seriously, loud enough for the class to hear. His XS turns to. And why the fuck? Bakuga was about to start his nonsense, but Izuku cut him off. I said, get back, he said dangerously. Looking back at the class is turned into hashtag. So the class listened. Now how do I play this? Izuku thought. But while that was happening, the portal down by the fountain finally closed, bringing in all the villains. And the young adult, known as Tomura, started to speak. Where's All Might? He said, looking around and scratching his neck. Tomura Shigaraki, it seems All Might is not here, but there's also no drones, the purple mist man said. You're right, Kurogiri. Now we have 2 Nomus to destroy All Might. When he arrives, Tomura Shigaraki said with glee. It seems so, but we still need to be careful, the man now known as Kurogiri. Kurogiri, spread them. Let's make All Might's day a bloody one. All right, students, let's go back to the entrance, 13 said. She's trying to keep everyone calm while Retr0 and Eraserhead think of a plan. But when the students were about to turn around, they hear a bang and a sound of someone getting hurt. So they look at the source of the sound and saw Retr0 pointing his gun at them. But they heard the cry again, so they looked behind and saw a mist man. Eraserhead, stay with the students, this guy can teleport, Retr0 screamed, his goggles turning into an angry expression. Students, stay behind, 13 command the underground hero, while activating his quirk and looking at Kirojiri. Ho! Bang! When the second bang was heard, the class are now terrified of Izuku. Talk or move, you're getting shot, Retr0 said, aiming his pistol at Kirojiri. I brought the wrong pistol, oh no, I really need to label them. He continued his initial realization earlier. Retr0 was cursing himself for bringing the 4N00 BS pistol, a lethal gun, instead of the LTL P68 pistol that has RBB bullets, pepper bullets, and shock bullets. How did I not notice that I took the wrong gun? Retr0 keeps cursing himself. Good thing this gun is only weak. I don't want my first kill to be in front of the class, he thought, still aiming at Kirojiri. Then he saw Bakugo and Kirishima talking about something. These two idiots are going to get killed. So, Retr0 yelled at them. Oh, I sharp boy Pomeranian, move, and I'll shoot you. Don't interfere, Retr0 said threateningly. And why the hell show? Bakugo, when we get out of here you're getting detention, Aizawa said, still looking at Kirojiri. But his eyes are now hurting, and Izuku noticed this, so. Yaoyorozu, come here, he called for the creation quirk user. Wah, just listen. And she did. While Izuku was telling Yaoyorozu how to make the thing that he needs, the villains down below are getting impatient, and Tamura Shigaraki is seen scratching his neck, irritated. Guys, there's villains climbing up, the form of a scared Kaminari yelled. Finished? Izuku said, looking impatient. Done. So she handed the thing that she created. Perfect, said Izuku while looking at the non-lethal SMG. An MP9 submachine gun, filled with RBB bullets, and lucky for him, he packed his pepper bullets for his SMG max. I really need to organize my things after this. Eraserhead, there's a metal neck brace on this villain, keep an eye on him. He's the most dangerous one of them. I'll handle the thugs, Izuku said, aiming his gun and BRR fired the SMG at Kirojiri and stagger him, and that gave Eraserhead time to blink. What do you mean you'll handle the thugs? But Mina yelled before the Vigilante can go and fight the incoming villains. Midoriya, I give you permission to fight. Everyone else stay where you are. 13, protect them. Don't let them go. Form a circle and put the long-range fighters inside, while the close-range fighters are in the outer layer, the underground hero ordered, while getting close to Kirojiri. Why is the quirkless allowed to fight, while I'm not? Bakugo yelled, looking extremely red from anger. Is it safe for him, sensei? He doesn't have a quirk, Ida yelled in concern, unknowingly digging his own grave. Quirk this, quirk that, Izuku started, sounding irritated. Is that all you idiots know? That a quirk is what makes heroes strong. If it is, then don't talk to me, ever. What do you mean, Midoriya? You'll just the panicked and scared form of Uraraka said, but was cut off short by. Is this the little eggs that we need to crack? A villain with a mohawk said. Well, look at that chick with the big melons. I'm going to have fun with her, a female villain said, acting like a creep. TCH. Focus. These kids are from Udata, so that means they're trained. A villain that has scissors for hands said. I didn't know Edward Scissorhand was real, Retr0 said excitedly, and his angry expression turned into carrot. And now the villains are focused on Retr0. This kid has a death wish, wanting to mess with us. A villain that looks like a walking, talking rock said. It's the thing from Fantastic Four, dude. Where's Mr. Fantastic? Love his work on the antimatter injection system, Izuku said, geeking out, while the villains think he's just a stupid kid. Enough, why don't you come with me, and we can have some fun? Another female villain said. Yeah, how about no? I ain't into creeps that tries to sleep with underage teens, Retr0 said playfully, and his carrot turned into a carrot for a split second for the villains to see and revert back to his angry expression. Now let's dance, Retr0 said, while his playlist is on full blast. Last time in Drago. Now let's dance, Retr0 said, while his playlist is on full blast. Retr0 didn't even care if his classmates finds out that he's a vigilante. He went full force with the villains. You think you see AGH, the female villain that wants to fondle Yaoyorozu said, but was cut off by Izuku shooting her leg and running head first into the villains group. The idiot really does have a death wish, Scissorhand said, readying his swipe. But Retr0 ducked under the swipe and wrapped the thunderball around the villain's outstretched arm and proceeds to judo flip him. And when he hits the floor, Retr0 hit him on the head with the thunderball, incapacitating him instantly. And no one got to speak because Retr0 attacked the thing, as he called him. He tried shooting him, but his rock body did nothing, but ricochet the RBB bullets everywhere, some even hitting the other thugs. So the female pervert used her quirk on Retr0 to try and hit him while he's distracted. Her quirk is needle hair. She fired them at Retr0, but he just went behind the thing, and the needles just keeps bouncing off of him. F it, Retr0 thought, while fishing something out of his bag. Hey, you guys want to see a magic trick? Retr0 said, dodging a hand slam by the thing, and his goggle screens turned to II. Shut up, pretty boy, the second female villain, said she thirsty. Come on, one simple trick, please, Retr0 said, playing around with the villains, and his screens turned to Squinting Eye's face. But before anyone can respond to him, he said, Abracadabra, I will disappear along with your beret, while his goggles turned to you. What the second female villain yelled with a blush, but what everyone else yelled, even the students, in unison. He did disappear, said the shock form of a blushing Yaoyorozu. She got flustered when Retr0 screamed the magic spell. That thing had a quirk? Bakuga said, shocked on seeing the kid that he bullied have an invisibility quirk. In oh fair, I'm invisible 24/7, why can he turn his OFF? The invisible girl said, flailing her arms in an angry manner. Did he lie about being quirkless? Asked a shell-shocked Ida. Did Izuku lie to me too? Pony mumbled, feeling betrayed. We felt bad about offending him, but he had a quirk all along, said the class idiot. But before any other people can say anything, the thing just got launched, and there seems to be electricity going everywhere, but instantly disperse across the battlefield, and the thugs close to the thing went unconscious because of the electrical surge. What again? Everyone yelled, shocked. But before anything can be answered, the needle quirk user was taken out. Seemingly, she got hit on the head with a blunt object. And someone said BOO behind the second female villain, and when she screamed and looked behind her, she saw Retr0. His screens displays the word boo, and she instantly got electrocuted. Same with another villain close to her, and they both fell unconscious. Haha, man, I love my gadgets, Retr0 screamed, seemingly spawn out of thin air. His screens display caret. Again, what everyone that saw him said. How did you do that, Midori? The pink Teletubby yelled, looking bewildered. Every is actually. Did you have a quirk all along, Midoriya-san? Momo said, trying to comprehend just what she and her classmates saw. Did you lie to me, Izuku? Pony didn't really realize that she screamed that, and in perfect Japanese as well. But before anyone can ask more questions, he answered them by going invisible and secretly shooting Mamajir Kurogiri on the neck brace, because, if his calculation was correct, Aizawa was at his not blinking limit. So he distracted Kurogiri long enough for Aizawa to get one medium-length blink. Thanks, problem child. Keep the stewed. Aizawa didn't get to finish his sentence, because a gray Nomu with wings swooped down and grabbed him and Kurogiri together. No, F13, protect the students, I'm getting eraser head, Izuku yelled, uncloaking, and ran down the stairs. Wait, Retr0, don't be reckless, she screamed, trying to protect her other student. But she knew this particular student is strong, battle-tested, and overall skilled, but she can't help feel that she failed her coworker. 13-sensei, why did you call Midori Retr0? Mina asked, her classmates having the same clueless face. It's nothing, slip of the tongue, she said, redirecting their focus on her, and not the form of Retr0 literally sprinting down the stairs, and jumping and hitting a villain in the head with his thunderball and incapacitating them. Kurogiri spread the kid's Tamura said, his neck bleeding from all the scratching he's doing. I'm sorry, Shigaraki Tamura, but it seems I can't properly use my quirk at the moment, he said, breathing a little, and his neck brace is seen with multiple spiderweb-like cracks, his form almost like a cloud on how spread he is. He doesn't have his humanoid form. God, these heroes, the young adult screamed, while scratching his already bleeding neck. While that was happening, Retr0 is beating villains left and right, using his Thunderball and the SMG that Yaoyorozu made him. No, my nuts, he keeps screaming in his head, not being able to fight the gray Nomu. But said Nomu was now commanded to deal with that kid, and so it did. It came crashing down, knocking the other villains off balance, giving Retr0 time to load Pepper Bullet to give him some more breathing room. And now the Nomu was attacking Retr0 after he shot the villains that were getting up. The Nomu tried to punch Retr0, but the Vigilante just sidestepped it and delivered a rapid-firing gun to the Nomu by shooting all of his pepper bullets on the thing's face. It left marks that it hit, But pepper bullets don't hurt that much, like RBB bullets. So he kicked off the Nomu and tried to get some distance. While the Nomu was cleaning its face because of the burn of the pepper bullets, Retr0 loads the RBB bullet, or what's left of him. Oh no, I don't have any more bullets. Note to self, always bring 5 mags of different ammo side. This is going to be a trash fight, he thought looking at the now irritated Nomu. Then the Nomu did an ear-piercing screech, flying towards the form of Izuku. That was Izuku's response, in being tackled by a big but Nomu with wings. Both Izuku and the Nomu was flying all over the place, Izuku firing point-blank at the Nomu using the SMG, but it doesn't even flinch, the thing just tanks the RBB bullets. F. Izuku keeps cursing inside his head, because he's looking like a ragdoll stuck to a flying humanoid bird with an exposed brain. The Nomu just keeps flying around, both high and low, trying to damage Retr0, sometimes even punching and kneeing Retr0. This hurts so much, Retr0 thought as he was about lose to it. But then F it, I'll talk to Hound Dog later, he said to himself, while pulling out the 4N00BS pistol and shooting the exposed brain. Bang, 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 bang. And now everyone is seen looking up. The other Nomu that was strong enough to kill All Might is seen falling with BLD trailing behind it. And Izuku is seen adjusting to the fall, trying to use the Nomu to break his fall. What? No. And oh, how did you kill my Nomu? His supposed toe. Be as strong as All Might, Tamura yells while scratching his, still, bleeding neck. Easy, just use a bullet, Retr0 said. His goggles turn to carrot. While he walks in the middle of the plaza, after he landed, albeit limping a little, to look at Tamura properly. Man, this dude needs some lotion. What's your name, you cheater? He screamed, still scratching his neck. I'm not a cheater. I'm just a high-level enemy, Izuku said. His goggles shows No, a high-level enemy can't beat my Nomu. You're probably a bug, you're not supposed to exist, or maybe you're a secret-level mini-boss. Tamura keeps staring at the Vigilante. Treating me like the secret cow level? That's kind of flattering, Retr0 said. No, that level was just a myth, but wah. He didn't finish his thinking because he saw Eraserhead coming. Nomu crush Eraserhead, Tamura said, panicked looking at the other Nomu. And he saw the thing move, and Eraserhead was instantly in the Nomu's grip. While Nomu was running, the creature actually hit Izuku, so the young Vigilante went flying. And when Retr0 landed, somewhat safely, he hears crunch, and he saw Eraserhead's right arm be bent in all the wrong ways. Aizawa screamed, biting his lower lip to get a hold of himself. Retr0 yelled, shooting the other Nomu in the place where he shot, its brother or sister. You can't kill this one that easily, it has hyper regeneration, and that one that you killed only had shock absorption, wings, and a weak regeneration quirk. Now this one has shock absorption, hyper regeneration, super speed, and it's as strong as All Might, the man-child yelled with glee. Multiple quirks, how is that even allowed? And I have known this world is so unfair, Retr0 thought, horrified and worried. K-Kid huff, are you in? Breathe, Eraserhead said looking at Izuku, but before the young Vigilante can listen to his idol. Nomu destroy the bug, Tamura Shigaraki said, bored, uninterested, like he was watching paint dry. And before Izuku knows what happened, he's embedded inside the top of the doors of the USJ. His classmates having horrified looks, worried for their classmate, and for some girls, crush. Midori, Izuku, Midoriya. The 3 girls runs over to him and gently puts him down, while his other classmates start to surround him. Now Izuku is sitting, resting his back on a railing. Are you okay? What happened? 13 asked frantically, worried for her student, that was bleeding from his head. Fuck. Izuku started but ended up being a coughing fit. He said, breathing, huffing, and puffing. Sure. I think I have 3 broken ribs. No, and maybe breathe a concussion. He finished, and he looked down on where he was, and erase. Riyadh. Hezar. He tried, but he keeps wheezing, breathing. He can't finish his sentence. So he tried getting his laptop, but... Hey, sit still, Midori. Mina said, worried for our Vigilante. Lalap. Cough. Cough top. He finished, ending up being in a coughing fit again. So Mina tried to get the laptop out his crossbody bag. How is it still in one piece? The heiress said, surprised. Say secret. He breathes, his goggles having cracks on them, but his expression still went from to Carrot. Don't joke around Izuku, Pony said, concern evidently present in her tone. Here Mina said, handing the laptop to Izuku, and the Vigilante opened it and said, "Allel, my DR1s. Take it out." He finished, booting up his systems. "Midoriya, you shouldn't even be moving yet. Here you are using your laptop. Please, just rest," Ida said, looking worried for his friend. "He's right, Midobro, you just got gut punched, and you said you have 3 broken ribs. Just rest, man." Kirishima was the next, but Izuku didn't listen, and the one that got his drones were Pony. "I got them out," Izuku, the foreign exchange student, said. The Vigilante just nods his head in thanks. Okay, note to self, don't nod if you have a concussion, he thought, activating all the drones at once, and all of course. "Yao f cough Momoak, okay, don't shout as well," he said, gritting his teeth, while getting the attention of the heiress. "Make me a second screen," he said, looking at his laptop, still breathing. He called me by my given name, the heiress thought in surprise, and somehow her chest feels warm after she heard that. "Get it together, he needs you," she shouts at herself in her thoughts, trying to focus on the situation. "That has a USB wire so you can plug it in your laptop?" Momo asked, readying her quirk, and trying to compose herself after her initial thought. "Why, yeah, thanks," he said, still breathing heavily. "Bro, just rest," Kirishark keeps saying to his bro. "Midoriya, I trust your decisions, but what are you gonna do?" 13 asked, trying to figure out what her student is gonna do. "Jay, just watch," he said after Yaoyorozu plugged the extra screen, and his quadcopter started to fly. His combat spiderbot started to run down the steps, while his normal spiderbot was seen going to the electrical box that connects everything in the USJ below the stairs and plug something in. "Let's do this," he said, still breathing heavily, while his playlist started to play on the USJ speakers and not his earbuds. "Dude, rest," Kirishima keeps saying, worried, but again he was ignored. Everyone was being ignored actually. Retr0 was just focusing on controlling his 3 drones in a single laptop. "It's harder than I thought," he thought. "What? That's what she said." Okay, let's mess up some villains," he keeps thinking, while his drones are seen assaulting villains left and right. His combat spiderbot was seen shooting its automated turrets at the enemies. His normal spiderbot is seen jumping from one person to another, electrocuting them, while his quadcopter is seen flying high, dropping some sort of grenade. But when it explodes, it only shocks people. His classmates were amazed on what his drones are doing, basically defeating the villains without moving from one spot. But then there was 2 explosions that happened, one at the entrance. All Might arrived. The students were relieved, seeing the symbol of peace. "Have no fear." "Why?" "Because I am here," the big hero said with his usual smile, but that dropped when he saw Izuku. Young Izuku, what happened? All Might asked, but was answered by 13 saying villains started to attack, while Izuku was the one to defeat most of them, and he was injured by the Nomu. And All Might didn't say anything else. He just jumped down, got Aizawa, and lay him next to Izuku, while he jumps back to fight the Nomu. "Stay still, Midoriya. I'm trying to patch you up," the heiress said, fixing some cuts and bruises on the young Vigilante. "Thanks, but Eraser. We know Ashido and Uraraka are helping him out now. So please just stay still," she said, wrapping something on his forearm. And the second was the riot drones and missile drones. The missile drones was the one that caused the second explosion. The drones shot the roof of the facility to get in. There was approximately 40 missile drones and 60 riot ones. The drones start to fire at the villains, of course using RBB bullets, and the missile drones provide crowd control. Why does you gotta have drones? That's cheating. Heroes are not supposed to use robots," Tomura screeched, yelling at the top of his lungs. "Nomu, stop losing," he said, but was cut off because he was shot and Kurogiri teleported them out. "If only that kid didn't shoot at me," he thought bitterly while they land inside his bar. Kurogiri still looking like a cloud, so he fixed himself first, then tried to binge Tomura. "How did we lose?" "Tomura Shigaraki, please stop scratching your neck." Mamajiri raised his voice. While we see the students get skirted out of the USJ by the other teachers and police, Aizawa and Izuku are immediately put inside an ambulance. When Hisashi saw his boyfriend, he was crying because his arms were broken. He has a cut under his right eye and was unconscious. The class saw Izuku getting boarded inside the ambulance, and Izuku gave them a peace sign and a carrot expression on his broken goggles. And the students were seen giving statements, but one student was still thinking about what their teacher said. Why did 13 called Midoriya Retr0? Detective Shoko was now suspicious not only on the secret love child case, but on a new one as well. Beep, 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 beep. Ugh, where? Ah, sure. Izuku Midoriya said, finally waking up after he passed out after he was brought to a hospital. He's currently laying down on a bed. He's wearing some hospital clothes. On his right he can see Aizawa bandaged up. His left and right arm is in a cast. The right side of his face is bandaged up, and he was sleeping. Good, said Izuku when he saw Aizawa. God, I feel so groggy, he thought, resting his head on the pillows. But then he felt movement on his left leg, and when he looked down he saw Ms. Kiyama? Izuku asked groggily. She looks like she's sleeping, but Izuku needs answers, so he nudged her slightly. Just 5 more minutes, she mumbled while moving her head to the right. Now Izuku can see her. She looks haggard. I hope she's taking care of herself. I don't want Aizawa and Yamadad to worry about her again, Izuku thought, still looking at Nomuri. So he just lets her sleep, while he looks at her lovely face. Some time goes by, and Nomuri is still sleeping, looking like a cute cat. Same goes for Aizawa, but Izuku was just looking outside of their shared room's window, looking at the peaceful city, birds flying by once in a while. But then, Yamada Hizashi came through the door and saw Izuku awake. I'm glad you're awake, lil listener, Hizashi said softly, looking at Izuku. It's good to see you too, Yamadad. Izuku gave him a soft and gentle smile. So how long have we been here? Izuku asked quietly. 2 days, lil listener. You and Sho were in pretty bad state. Yamada started, frowning. Sho's arms was broken, but thankfully that was it. He had a concussion, and the right side of his face was smashed by the Nomu. But luckily it's not that severe. But Yamada looked worried now. Lil listener, you had one of your broken ribs pressed against your right lung. It was a miracle that it wasn't punctured. And your head recovery girl said it was another miracle that your skull didn't broke when you were punched. Yamada finished sitting beside Izuku's bed. That was the closest experience that I had with death, but I'll gladly be punched like that again. For Aizawa and my classmates, Izuku said with determination. But look down. Even though they don't treat me as equals, he finished. But Yamada just put a hand on Izuku's shoulder to comfort him. Now they will see that you do deserve to be at Udata, he said with a smile. Plus you took out multiple villains, and that Noma thing that was supposed to be as strong as All Might, Yamada said, giving him a cheeky smile. But Izuku just stared at his hands when Yamada said something about the Nomu. I killed him, Izuku said, still looking at his hands, opening and closing them. Who, lil listener? Yamada asked, worried. Nomu. I killed him. Izuku looked at Yamada, his eyes full of unshed tears. What, you didn't kill no one, lil listener, okay? Yamada said, squeezing Izuku's hand, that he took. Dash. But nothing. You killed it. Not him. That Nomu wasn't human, lil listener. That was a thing. The police said it was. Yamada stopped himself. Should I tell him? He's still only a kid, but he said that he doesn't want to kill, but technically that wasn't killing. He just shot corpses stitched together to make a monster. Yamada was having a mental battle with himself. It was what? Izuku asked Yamada. Izuku just squeezes the hand more, wanting answers. I'll tell you when Sho wakes up, is that okay? It's hero business, but since you're going to be Sho's sort of apprentice, it's best when he's awake when I tell you, okay? Yamada said gently, placing his other hand on the hand that he was holding for more comfort. Oh, okay. Izuku just nods, and they stay quiet for a couple of minutes, but then, so how's the cats? Izuku said, starting a conversation. When Shota Aizawa woke up, he didn't expect his boyfriend laughing and talking with his problem child. They were talking about something, and once I went inside I saw him wearing pink sweatpants that has cats all over it. And he was on the floor, he even has Kona on his head and Americano on his lap. When he saw me, he said, I finally know what true peace is, haha. Hizashi said to Izuku. They were talking about Aizawa. I would totally see him doing that. Izuku laughs, but then sees Aizawa. Dad's a dash, Izuku said, excited and relieved, but he started to cough violently. Och, don't push yourself, problem child, Aizawa said groggily after he saw the problem child. Easy, lil listener. You're still recovering. Don't push it, okay? Hizashi said, rubbing his back. Izuku just nods and motioned his head to Aizawa. Hizashi just nods and stands up to walk to his boyfriend. How are you doing, Sho? Hizashi asked lovingly, caressing Aizawa's hair. Need coffee, he said like he just woke up from a 50-year-old slumber. PFF, of course. First thing you ask is coffee. Izuku laughs. How are you feeling, problem child? He asked, while Hizashi adjusts the bed so he can be in a sitting position. Just a little groggy, how about you? Izuku asked, looking at Aizawa. Coffee. Izuku's sweat dropped. Is that really how you feel? Or never mind, I'll get us some, he said, about to stand up, but he remembered Nomuri still sleeping on his leg. She must have been really tired, Izuku mumbled, but he was heard by Hizashi. He nods. When she heard about your condition, she hasn't left your side. She was as worried as me when I heard what happened to Sho, Hizashi said, taking a seat close by to Aizawa. And don't try to move yet, little listener. You're still tired. I'll get the coffee later after I tell you and show what was the villains were after. So what were they after? Asked Aizawa. And Hizashi took a second to glance at Izuku to see if he's listening. They were after All Might. That thing, Hizashi emphasis for Izuku, was made to kill All Might. That's what the thugs say. They planned to scatter the students by using Kurogiri. That was the mist villain. Well, that's what Shoji heard the leader say. Hizashi continues his explanation. Good thing that you stopped that Kurogiri villain, because he had a teleportation quirk dash. Problem Child figured it out. He said that the mist villain can teleport, so I stayed with it, and Problem Child shot at him for 4 or 5 times, I think. So it was the right choice that I stayed, Aizawa said. Looking at Izu, good decision-making, Problem Child. I would have jumped in the middle of the fight if it wasn't for you, Aizawa said with a tiny proud smile. It's nothing. You know I'll do anything just to keep everyone safe, but you still got injured because of me. Izuku said, looking down. You did nothing. Nothing wrong, Problem Child. We just didn't expect the villains to have strong allies, Aizawa said with a serious look, staring at Izuku's eyes. That's the next thing. That Nomu was not human, well, not anymore, Hizashi said, looking disturbed. What do you mean? The Problem Child and his Aizawa asked at the same time. The autopsy team that did the procedure, well, they found multiple people's BLD, human tissues, and some other gross things inside that one Nomu. So you're telling me that Nomu was multiple people? Izuku asked quietly, his face showing distress. Yes and no, Hizashi said. The thing was made of multiple people's corpses. People got smashed together to make that thing. And the police found the other Nomu that All Might was fighting. That thing was still alive, but it was good as dead. It couldn't respond to anything, Hizashi finished. Probably their leader was the one that can control it, Aizawa shared his thought. The police said it can only do was stare off into space. It's like a corpse, but it was alive and voice-activated. So I just ended their suffering? Or were they still in there? Izuku asked slowly. Probably the first, little listener. If the people that was it they're still alive, they would have wanted someone to kill them, but it's unlikely. That's what the police said. No one can survive a procedure like that. I still killed it. To save everyone, Aizawa said. You need to make the right choices to have less casualties. You did good. You didn't kill anyone. You just shot a corpse, not a human being. So don't get that thought in your head. Aizawa said, in a manner that said that there was no room for arguments. Okay, thanks, Aizawa, Izuku said with a gentle smile. It was now night. The trio got something to eat thanks to Hizashi. Nomuri was still sleeping on Izuku's leg, until she wasn't. Nomuri Kiyama woke up to seeing her 2 best friends eating, Hizashi feeding Aizawa, while Aizawa was just grumbling, saying he doesn't need to be fed like that. And when she looks to her right, she saw Izuku Midoriya, the kid that her best friends basically adopted, laughing at the two, while also eating his food. Yo, you're awake, she said softly. Izuku said, looking at her. Morning. Finally decided to wake up, Kiyama-sensei? Izuku said with a smile. Your food is on that table over there, he said, nodding to a table in one of the corners. While Nomuri just looks at him. Is there something on my face? Izuku asked. No, I'm just glad that you're alive, she said, standing up and hugging him. Izuku was confused when he received the hug, but returned it nonetheless. What's with the hug, Kiyama-san dash? Nomuri interrupts. Just call me Nomuri Aizaku, she said, still hugging his midsection. Okay, Izuku said, confused, but not hating it. Nim. Let the lil listener eat, and you should eat too, Hizashi said, already figuring out why his best friend is acting like this. She said, letting go of the hug. Next time try to rely on us, okay, handsome? She said with a soft smile, looking at the blushing form of Izuku. He said, nodding, not trusting his voice. Good, she said with a satisfied smile. So what do we have for dinner? She said, while Aizawa just has a mouthful of rice and is looking like a chipmunk. Sho, you can't go to work, Hisashi Yamada yelled at his boyfriend for trying to stand up and leave for work. And I keep telling you I'm fine, Shota said, refusing to listen to reason. Your arms are still in a cast, Sho, you can't teach like that, Yamada said, pulling Eraserhead back onto the bed. I can just dictate what they have to write. I don't need my arms, the stubborn caterpillar keeps fighting. You need rest, Sho, and Hisashi can't do this on his own, so lil listener, help me get Sho back to bed. Hisashi begged the form of Izuku that was just sitting on his bed and holding in his laughter. PFF, just let him go to work, hahaha. Izuku laughs, seeing Aizawa upside down with his ever so unimpressed face. You know I can't do that, he needs rest, Hisashi said, pulling his boyfriend upright. But Aizawa just almost fell off the bed. Okay, PFF. Izuku tried to be serious, but couldn't hold in his laughter. Okay, you want him to rest, right? He's always sleeping in school. PFFF, haha. Izuku tried to say a full sentence out but couldn't, because he saw Aizawa and Hisashi both fall off the bed, and Aizawa just has the why am I alive face. Hisashi sighs, you're right, lil listener, and I can't fight this stubborn caterpillar, so get dressed, and we'll be going around 7 a.m. Hisashi said, going outside to get coffee. You need help there? Izuku said with an amused smile, and is holding in his laughter. No, Aizawa said with his quirk active. Shota? Hisashi? What the hell are you doing back already? Said Namuri Kiyama, arms on her waist, and is expecting a good reason. But Aizawa just sighs and sits down on the couch, while Hisashi explains what the actual hell happened. Coffee, Aizawa said, looking into space. Is that all you think about? Came the voice of Izuku, carrying 3 cups of coffee. One he handed to Hisashi, and gave an apologetic smile to Namuri, and the other he handed to Aizawa. Thanks, problem child, Aizawa said, downing the coffee like it's the holy grail, but of course he's using his stainless steel straw. Yeah, no problem, Dadzawa, Izuku said, sitting down with his basically adopted father teacher, and is drinking his own coffee. They sit in silence for a couple of minutes, well, as silent as Namuri and Hisashi talking about what happened earlier. But then you do know the class will be surprised seeing you up already, he said, looking at Aizawa. I don't care. My job is to teach you brats how to become a hero. And being a hero doesn't mean you can rest because you can. You rest because you need it. And I don't need it, Aizawa said, taking a sip like he's drinking from a juice box. I used to think that too, Izuku started, but took a sip of coffee. But then I realized that when life gives you time to rest, you take it, because sometimes that's the only time you see your loved ones, he said, looking down at his cup and remembering his mother. If Aizawa can put a hand on Izuku's shoulder, he would, but couldn't, so he just opted, humming and approved him. And they just sit there, drinking their coffee until the first bell rings so they can go to class. Hey, who do you think will be our substitute teacher? Mina asked Tsu, leaning in her chair so she can talk to Tsu properly. I don't know. Karo the frog girl answered. What if it's ectoplasm? Came the voice of Kirishima. Nah, he's probably in his own class at the moment, Mina retorts. But before anyone can say anything else, the door opened, and they saw Aizawa, his arms still in a cast. Under his right eye is a big bandage. Mr. Aizawa sensei, the class yelled, surprised. Should you be out of the hospital, sensei? Karo Tsuyu Azui asked, in her signature pose. Are you okay, sensei? Mina asked, waving her hands around like a wacky waving inflatable arm, flailing tube man air woman. My health is none of your concern, Aizawa said, in his ever so monotone voice. Yes, it is, Izuku said, walking inside the open door, hands inside his pocket, looking at Aizawa seriously. While Aizawa just sighs, and Izuku's friends instantly stood up when they saw Izuku, while sans pony. She actually ran up to him and tackled him into a hug. Izuku, she yelled, while Izuku almost fell down. Oof, Pony, Izuku said, hugging her, but if you saw his face, it seems it's unpleasant. Oh, Tsunatori, you're hurting him, Mina yells at Pony. Huh, she said, but looked up at Izuku and saw his face. I'm so sorry, Izuku, she yelled, and let's go. It's fine, Izuku offered her a smile. I'm mostly okay now, he said, not just for Pony, but for the whole class. Midori-Midoriya, Mina and Kirishima said, but was cut off by Izuku, who just raised his hand in protest. Not now. We'll talk later, he said, and he and Pony went to walk to their seats, while Mina and Kirishima just nods and sits down. Izuku is now walking down the halls with Pony by his side. It's now lunch, and they were walking to the cafeteria. Not too far away from them is Kirishima and Mina. So how are you, Izuku? Pony asked cheerful and in perfect Japanese. Looks like you were studying while school was out, Izuku said, looking at Pony and giving her a proud smirk. He only a little, it's still hard speaking Japanese, full Pony said with a cheery smile. Well, let's just keep practicing then, he said grinning, and eventually you'll be fluent in it. Pony hummed, her chin up, her walk confident. She's smiling like usual. I'm glad that Izuku's back, she thought with a nod and a satisfied smile. And they just continue their trek to the cafeteria. Can we talk now, Midori? Mina asked from behind Izuku, who was sitting down and was preparing to eat his katsudan. Izuku nods, not even looking behind him. Pony was sitting on his right. Mina and Kirishima walks to the other side of their table and sat down, awkwardly fidgeting. I won. Midori, bro, I'm. The three said, overlapping each other. PFF Izuku started but controlled himself. Izuku clears his throat, and Mina and Kirishima gave him the lead, while Pony was just watching. Okay, Izuku said, looking at the two. I wanted to say I'm sorry, Kirishima and Mina was about to question, but Izuku just continues, I'm sorry for acting like a little kid. I just saw you two were the first people to apologize about offending me. When people found out that I'm quirkless, they just avoid me, or give me the I'm sorry for you. But also I don't care, look, you two were different, same with Yaoyorozu, Azui, Uraraka, and Ida. You guys actually tried to apologize, and for ignoring you. Guys, I'm sorry, Izuku finished with a formal and respectful bow. Midobro, I'm so sorry, man. Kirishima started with a head bang on the table, and kept his head there. I didn't mean to offend you, and I will never ever underestimate you again. I won't judge people by their quirk. I will be the bestest friend you will ever have again. I'm so sorry, Kirishima yelled. Doesn't even care if people were looking or not. Midori, Mina said, I'm so sorry for what I said. I didn't mean to make you feel like that. I hope you can forgive me, Midori. I'm so sorry, she finished, bowing at the end, with a teary and quiet apology. And here I thought I was the one that needs to apologize and start over again. Hee, Izuku said, looking at the two. Come on, don't bow. It's kinda embarrassing. Let's just eat and talk like the first day, yeah? Izuku said with a smile. Mina and Kirishima nods, with tears still leaking out. Bro, I know I saw what happened to you, but are you okay now? Like really? Kirishima seriously asked, while eating. Oh, I want to know too. We couldn't visit you, because they said you're roomed with Mr. Aizawa, Mina said, about to take a sip from her juice. I know too, Izuku. Pony innocently asked, with her broken Japanese. I don't think it's the right time to say. We're still kinda eating, he said, taking a bite from his katsudan. Now we can take it, Mina and Kirishima said in unison. Jinx, jinx. Agh, Kirishima said, sinking down on his seat. You owe me a soda, Mina happily yells. He, that funny, Pony said, and then looked at Izuku. Hey, Izuku, are you sure you're okay now? When I hugged you, you kinda winced, Pony said, doing the I'm okay, just need some more rest. The doc said I shouldn't push myself too much at the moment. So I found a solution, Izuku said, looking at the three and smirked, but it's a surprise, so y'all probably see it tomorrow, Izuku said, eating another bite of katsudan. You sure, man? Just making sure, Kirishima said with a worried smile. I'm good, Izuku retorts with a smile as well. Hey, Midori, you want to ride the train to Geth? Mina was about to say, but was interrupted by Midoriya Senum. Is it okay if I can talk to you after school? Yaoyorozu asked, tapping Izuku on the shoulder. Sure, Izuku said, turning around. I actually wanted to talk to you as well, Yaoyorozu, Izuku said with a small smile. I'll wait for you then, Yaoyorozu said with a satisfied smile, and left. He also wants to talk to me. Calm down, Momo. You're just gonna apologize like a Shido and Kirishima. Just apologize casually, and that's it, she thought while walking to his classroom. Izuku was packing up his bag and was about to leave, but remembered he needs to talk to Yaoyorozu. Hey, Pink, Kiribro, Pony, you guys can go ahead. I'll be a little bit late. See y'all tomorrow, he said to the two, and Pony. Bye, Izuku, Pony said, waving with a cute smile. See ya, Midori, Mina said with a toothy grin. Thanks for forgiving us, Midobro. I'll see you tomorrow at the station, Kirishima said, walking out the door with Pony and Mina. Both girls were talking to each other. Izuku just nods to them while waiting for everyone to leave, so he can talk to Yaoyorozu. Midoriya-san. Yaoyorozu said, looking at Midoriya. Yaoyorozu, Midoriya said, looking at Yaoyorozu. I just wanted to say You don't need to say anything, Izuku said, cutting off the heiress. I'm sorry for overreacting on what you said. Your father was the one that said that, not you. And for that, Izuku bowed. I'm sorry if I seem cold to you. Keep ignoring you, and all the stuff that I did. All the childish antics. You don't deserve to be treated like that. Once again, I'm terribly sorry, Izuku said, still bowing. The heiress was surprised. She didn't thought that the roles were gonna be reversed, but she still bowed. And I'm sorry as well, Midoriya. She started. If I offended you, I didn't mean to. And I'm sorry for not doing a better job at the USJ. You got injured because I was too slow. What? Izuku said, straightening up. You didn't do anything wrong, Yaoyorozu. But I did, UWR. I was injured because I was weak and slow. Don't blame yourself for my mistakes. The gun that you made for me was perfect, Izuku said, comforting the heiress. You even did first aid to the people that needs it, and one of them is me. And Sensei, so don't downplay yourself. You did good, Izuku keeps encouraging the heiress. Yo, you don't mean that, she said, blushing. No, I'm completely serious. You did amazing. And can we start over? I mean that whole friends thing, Izuku said, scratching his nape. You mean we were friends? She said, surprised. Wait, you didn't think we were? Izuku said, feeling embarrassed. No, the heiress gestures frantically. I just didn't think that. You thought of me like that. I didn't really grew up with a lot of friends. Now it was the heiress' turn to scratch her nape. They always just want to be friends for my parents' wealth. Not because of me, she continues, now looking down, and when I started high school, I promised to myself that I'll make real friends. But then on the second day, it seems I already offended one, and that was you, she said, awkwardly shifting. Had to be completely honest, same with me. When people found out that I'm quirkless, they generally stay away from me, acting like I'm a virus. But I promised myself as well that I'll actually try in high school. But it seems my past experiences made me used to just ignoring people that treat me like trash, he said with a sad smile. Again, I'm sorry, she said, finally looking at Izuku. Same here, Izuku said, awkwardly chuckling. They stay silent for a minute or two, just awkwardly standing there, looking at each other's eye, admiring how appealing their eyes are. But Izuku broke the silence. So friends? Izuku said, holding a hand out. Friends, the heiress excitedly says, and shakes the hand. She's acting like a 5-year-old that just saw her favorite Disney princess. I'll see you tomorrow then. Momo. Izuku smiles, his million-watt smile. I'll see you tomorrow as well, Izuku, she said with a slight blush, and she proceeds to leave the room with a shy wave. Izuku sighs happily, finally making friends. Mom will be proud. He finished his thought with a massive smile on his face. Oh, dreadlocks, Izuku says, happily entering the support studio. It's you, let's make babies together. Hatsum used instant transmission and got in Izuku's face. Whoa, chill, dreadlocks, Izuku said with a blush. It would seem the girl hasn't noticed that she's only wearing a tank top and is very close to him. Let's go, but it would seem that she simply doesn't care. She keeps pushing until they were almost hugging, making Izuku's blush much deeper. Okay, Izuku yelled, pushing Hatsum on the top of her shoulders awkwardly. Yes, what do you want to make first? I have this idea. And the pink-haired girl excitedly screams out ideas. While Izuku just looks at her amused. Man, I wish everyone that I work with is this enthusiastic, he thought, remembering Aizawa on the student selection. Okay, Izuku said loudly while clapping his hands together. You haven't said your name yet, dreadlocks, Izuku said with a smile. Oh, the name's Hatsum, May, future CEO of Hatsum Industries, she finished with a toothy smile, and is offering a handshake. Heh. I like your style, dreadlocks, Izuku started, accepting the offered handshake. The name's Midoriya, Izuku, future hero. Izuku finished with a smirk. I have a feeling we'll be partners in the lab, dreadlocks, Izuku said, walking further in the studio. I like your style. May excitedly follows. I'm making something to help me with mobility and style. Want to help with the tech stuff? Izuku asked with a smirk. Sure, May excitedly says, bouncing up and down, while her ahem jiggle, and Izuku just ignores them while he's blushing. Okay, I'll wait here and ready some stuff. I'll use the printer for something, he said, walking a ways, while May readies the workbench. What kind of stuff? May can't contain her excitement. Ready a blowtorch, some screwdrivers, a flat screw, a soldering kit. I have some circuit boards on that drawer over there. Same with some wires, and bring a fire extinguisher. I don't want to be in my Jima-san's list, Izuku said, typing something on the computer on the army of printers. Hope this works, he thought, while printing a skateboard, with no wheels, no truck, no grip tape, nothing, just a board that is made of some type of metallic plastic, but is also lightweight. The color of the board is pink. Perfect, Izuku thought. The design is kinda retro-futuristic. The prep is done, Mei screams, using instant transmission to get to Izuku again. Izuku yelled, surprised, is that your quirk or something? He said, looking at Mei, breathing a little heavily. Nope, my quirk is this, she said, looking at Izuku. Her eyes were zooming in and out. His eyes are appealing, Mei subconsciously thought. She then shakes her head to get that thought away. See, she went back to her crazy and excited self. So you have scopes in your eyes, Izuku said, staring down at Mei's eyes, and is leaning down to get a better view. That's so cool, Izuku whispered. Now they were almost face to face, and Mei subconsciously blushed a tiny bit. Thanks, she said, still looking at Izuku's eyes. Anyways, Izuku said, straightening up, and continues to type. This baby's almost done, just to be printed and done, Izuku said, moving to the front to open the doors and take out the hoverboard. Oh, what is that? Mei completely forgot what she was blushing about and went to see what Izuku built using the printer. This, dreadlocks, is what I will call the hoverboard. Mei just stares, awed, and is frantically vibrating with excitement. How does it hover? She said, bouncing on the tip of her shoes. Izuku just ignores the jiggling 2 mounds of stuck fat on her chest and continues to explain what he's planning. And after that, and I want you to help with the hover tech. I already have it built, but I need someone to calibrate it and help me test it. Izuku finished now on the workbench and is looking at the hoverboard. So you need me to calibrate the speed and hovering on this baby? Mei asked, calming down a little, and is looking at the board. Yup, Izuku said, popping the P. While you do that, I'll get some clear grip tape. Use my laptop if you want. I'll allow it, Izuku said with a smile, and proceeds to take out his laptop and place it on the workbench. Thanks, I'll get started. Even though I don't know what I'm working on, I'll still do it, she excitedly says, looking at Izuku with her excited smile. That's why I picked you as my partner, dreadlocks, Izuku said with a smirk. No one has the ball to touch that printer after they heard what it can do, but you? Oh ho ho, not you, dreadlocks. Izuku's smirk keeps on growing. You disassembled it and put it all back together like nothing happened is impressive, so I believe you can do a little programming and calibrating. And if you need help, I'll be here, Izuku finished with a genuine smile. Mei laughs. Then you're stuck with me, partner, Mei said, bouncing with excitement. And I'll make you proud. And thanks, Mei then gives a genuine thankful smile. No one really liked to work with me, but I'm glad I met you, partner, she said with a massive smile. Izuku smirks, glad to be partners with a future CEO. Anytime, Izuku joked while leaving the support studio. I like that guy, she said, opening up Izuku's laptop and started to program some stuff. Hey, dreadlocks, Izuku said, coming through the door of the support studio, carrying a box of donuts and 2 coffee cups. I didn't know what you liked, so I just got us a pair of coffees and some donuts, he said, placing down the items, and takes out the clear grip tape from his crossbody bag. Here, Izuku said, handing the coffee to Mei. This is probably a bad idea, giving a girl with extremely high level of energy some coffee, but, who's saying it is, he said, drinking from the cup, and is looking at Mei's progress. Holy cow, dreadlocks, Izuku said, surprised. I didn't think that you would program almost all of it in 20 minutes, he said with wide eyes. I work fast, what can I say? Mei said, stopping for a second to drink the offered coffee. You want a SWCH? Izuku said, you can take a break. Your fingers musta hurt, he said, walking behind her. I'm good, she just said, lifting her head to look at Izuku with a smile. Okay then, Izuku smirked. I'll apply the tech to the board. And tell me after you're done, Izuku said, getting the soldering iron, and proceeds to use it on the circuit board to attach the wires for the 2 metal hover devices to connect. After he was done with that, he adds a cover, so the wires won't just spill out while skating. Hey, Greenie, I'm done, Mei said, but took a donut and eats it. Programming course, she said, with a mouth full of sprinkled donut. Izuku just chuckles while patting her head and took a look at the laptop. Nice work, dreadlocks, Izuku said, impressed. I thought I needed to help you, but yet again, you prove why you're my partner, Izuku said, looking at Mei that has some chocolate syrup on her cheeks. Yup, you can count on me, partner, she said, grabbing another donut. Yeah, I can, Izuku said softly, and plugs the hover devices on the board. So how are you going to make it go? Mei asked, drinking her coffee. When I lean forward, the board will go forward. When I want to hit the brakes, I'll just lean back, he said, attaching the devices on the board. And done, he said, and the board instantly hovers, even while on the workbench. This baby is like, it came from the future. Yeah, it is, Izuku said with a smirk, and tried to grab a donut, but found nothing inside the box. May? Where's all the donuts? What donuts? You know what, never mind. I wasn't hungry anyways, Izuku said, putting the hoverboard on the ground. I still have one if you want. May said shyly, and puts out her left hand that has a donut. How about we share? Izuku said, cutting the donut in half, but next time. Eat lunch, okay? Izuku said, already figuring out why May ate all of it. I don't have time for that. My babies are more important, she mumbled while nibbling on the half donut. Izuku hummed. While delivering a hand chop on May's head, food is important too. You can't just invent. You also need to take care of yourself, because if not, you will have less time with your baby when you get sick, Izuku said, looking at May sternly. Yes, she said with a dismissive hand, while she gets back to whatever she was doing earlier. Izuku just sighs, and you want to help test this baby? He said with a smirk. Yes, she instant transmission to Izuku. Let's go outside. Izuku Midoriya just woke up and instantly did his morning routine. Going down the hall, he saw Hisashi making breakfast with his hair still down, but already in his hero suit. Hey Yamadad, Izuku happily says, getting some juice from the fridge while sending a smile at Hisashi. Hisashi looks at Izuku and smirks. Someone's happy this morning. Something happened, lil listener? Got a girlfriend? Or boyfriend? I don't judge, he said, side eyeing Izuku while he cooked some eggs. Nah, just finished building the hoverboard is all. Plus I got a new partner in crime now, Izuku said, taking a swig from the bottle of juice. Oh? Hisashi asked, with an amused smile and a raised eyebrow. Yeah, she's dope. She's hella smart too, Izuku said, standing up from where he was sitting on the kitchen counter. Where's Aizawa, by the way? He asked, walking to the living room, to see Aizawa laying on the sofa and Mocha is seen sitting on his face. Never mind, he said with an amused smile. Hey, Izuku said with a goofy smile, you need some help breathing? Is that why you're using the cats, but to easily take in some oxygen, Izuku said, clearly trying to hold in his laughter, keyword trying. Izuku laughs, while taking Mocha away from Aizawa's face. Say that again. And you're not gonna eat, he said, sitting up. Oh, come on. You know you can't do that, Izuku said, sitting beside Aizawa and laying Mocha on his lap. Yes, I can, Aizawa said with a serious face. No, you can't, Izuku smirks. You know you love me, he said, petting Mocha. Then Americano started to climb up the couch. No, I don't, he said, petting Americano, but is clearly lying, right? Breakfast is ready, Hisashi yelled from the kitchen. You taking the train today, lil listener? Or you want to ride with us cool kids? Hisashi said with a grin. Don't say that again, Aizawa said to Hisashi. HMP, whatever, Hisashi said, starting the car. You coming or not? Aizawa said, looking at Izuku. Nah, you guys go ahead. Have a safe drive, Izuku said with a gentle smile, and is readying the hoverboard. See you at school, problem child, Aizawa said before he shut the door, and they proceed to drive off. Now, Izuku said with a huge smile, let's ride this baby, he finished, while he softly throws the board ahead of him, and he jump on to ride it. Hey, look at that, a random citizen said. Whoa, that's so cool, a schoolgirl yells, taking a video. Where can I buy one of those, a teen said, taking a picture. This is like the future, another random bystander said. What are they looking at? What are they taking photos or videos about? Well, it's simple. The people are seeing Izuku ride the hoverboard while listening to his playlist on speakers. Oh no, Izuku happily exclaims while riding along the sidewalk, while people keep looking at him in awe. This my favorite song. Yeah, you know what? I like the players. No diggity, no doubt, yeah. Play on player, play on player. Yo Dre, drop the verse. Izuku is seen riding his board with a goofy smile, but when the beat came in he started to rap. It's going down, fade to Blackstreet. The homies got at me, collab creations, bump like acne. No doubt, I put it down, never slouch. As long as my credit can vouch. A dog couldn't catch me but out. Tell me who can stop when Dre making moves. Attracting honeys like a magnet. Giving em eargasms with my mellow accent. Still moving this flavor. With the homies Blackstreet and Teddy. The original rump shakers. Some of the passerbys were impressed by his rap skills and the hoverboard that is riding, but when the beat picked up he started to ride side to side in a smooth manner. Shorty get down, good lord. Baby, got him open all over town. Strictly biz, she don't play around. Cover much grounds, got game by the pound. Izuku nods his head on a female passerby that just blushed when Izuku acknowledged her. Getting paid is her forte. Each and every day, true player way. I can't get her out of my mind, wow. I think about the girl all the time. Wow, wow. Izuku just keeps cruising down the sidewalk, swaying the board side to side. He's just chillin'. East side to the west side. Pushin' fat rides, it's no surprise. She got tricks in the stash, stacking up the cash. Fast when it comes to the gas. By no means average. She's on when she's got to have it. Baby, you're a perfect 10, I want to get in. Can I get down so I can win? Izuku looks at a girl, saying she's a perfect 10, and just continues to cruise. I like the way you work it. No diggity, I got to bag it up, bag it up. I like the way you work it. No diggity, I got to bag it up, bag it up, girl. I like the way you work it. No diggity, I got to bag it up, bag it up. I like the way you work it. No diggity, I got to bag it up, get up. She's got class and style. Street knowledge by the pound. Baby never act wild. Very low-key on the profile. Now Izuku really is chilling. He's bobbing his head on the beat. While singing, people just keep taking videos of him, but he pays them no mind. Catchin' feelings is a no. Let me tell you how it goes. Herb's the word, spins the verb. Lovers it curves so freak, what you heard. Rollin' with the fatness. You don't even know what the half is. You gotta pay to play. Just for shorty, bang bang, to look your way. I like the way you work it. Trump tight all day, every day. You're blowing my mind, maybe in time. Baby, I can get you in my ride. I like the way you work it. No diggity, I got to bag it up, bag it up. I like the way you work it. No diggity, I got to bag it up. Oh yeah? I like the way you work it. No diggity, I got to bag it up, babe. I like the way you work it. No diggity, I got to bag it up, get up. Hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, that girl looks good. Hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, play on, player. Hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, you're my kind of girl. Hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, hey yo. Izuku just do zigzags smoothly. Cause that's my peeps, and we rolls deep. Flying first class from New York City to Blackstreet. What you know about me? Not a Monday to Friday thing. Cartier wooden frames sported by my shorty. Now Izuku is just bobbing his head, bouncing a little on the board. As for me, I see gleaming pinky diamond ring. We bees the baddest clique up on the scene. Ain't you getting bored with these fake but broads? I shows and proves, no doubt, how predictably so. And he just keeps ignoring the stares that he's receiving. Please excuse if I come across rude. That's just me. And that's how the playhead's got to be. Stay kicking game with a capital G. Ask the peoples on my block. I'm as real as can be. Word is bond. Faking moves never been my thing. So, Teddy, pass the word to your and I, Chauncey. I be sending the call, let's say around 3:30. Queen Pin and Blackstreet, it's no diggity. Izuku is readying to sing again. He's just smiling the whole time while singing and vibing. No diggity, no doubt, baby. I like the way you work it. No diggity, I got to bag it up, girl, you got it going on. I like the way you work it. No diggity, I got to bag it up. Hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, I like the way you work it. No diggity, I got to bag it up. Hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, I like the way you work it. No diggity, I got to bag it up. Yeah, come on. Maggie in full effect. Lisa in full effect, right? Biggie in full effect, Tamika in full effect, yeah. Blaze in full effect, right? Ain't nothing going on but the rent, no doubt. Yeah, play on, play it. Play on, play it. Play on, play on, play on, play on. Cause I like it, right? No diggity, no doubt, yeah. Blackstreet Productions. We out, right? We out, we out. When the songs end, Izuku's playlist just keeps going while he goes to school, vibing. When Izuku passed the U-Data gates, other students start to look at him in awe. He gotta thank dreadlocks later. He thought kicking the board up to his hand, so he can go inside the school. But when Izuku got into the classroom, Ida, Uraraka, and Azui came up to him and bowed, saying they were sorry, but Izuku just interjects and say it's all okay now, and Uraraka and Azui were relieved, while Ida is secretly still guilty. But after that interaction, he went inside and met with his friends that were waiting for him, and instantly when Mina saw Izuku, she ran up to him and shoved her phone right up to his face. Midori, look, you're trending right now, she excitedly shouts, while Izuku just backs away a little. What? Izuku said, focusing on the phone. Man, I didn't know you can sing. And rap. Kirishima happily went beside him and give Izuku a pat on the back. Holy cow, Izuku breaths out, seeing the views on some videos of him rapping and just skating using the hoverboard. You famous now. Izuku Pony happily joins them at looking at the videos. Is that why you texted me earlier? So you can ride your new invention? Kirashark asks Izuku. Yeah, Izuku nervously laughs. I didn't mean to ditch you guys like that, but I kinda forgot to text you yesterday. Izuku gave an apologetic smile. It's all good, bro, Kirishima said. Yeah, you became famous because of that thing you built. Mina happily yells. Shut up and sit down, Aizawa said, going inside the classroom. His sleeping bag is sling on his, now healed, arms. So the students listened. They sat down while Aizawa went to the front, looking serious. Your fight is not over yet, he said, looking at his, now, nervous students. Well, except Izuku. He paused for dramatic effect, but Izuku just got bored, so he looks outside to see the other course students going to the U.A's gyms. While the other students are thinking, it another villain attack, even though none of them fought that day, except Izuku. The U.A Sports Festival is in 2 weeks, Aizawa finally said. Then the class erupted in chaos, yelling out how excited they are, how famous they're going to be, and all that jazz. While Izuku was just looking outside and thought, so that's why they're going to the gyms, already figuring out why some of students are working out. That's all. Now time for your English. Yeah, let's do this, yo, Hizashi yelled while coming in, but Aizawa just used his quirk on his boyfriend, and Hizashi just deflated and stared at his boyfriend. Really, Sho? You're too loud, he said, going out of the room. Hey, Mido bro, let's go get lunch, Shark Boy said, going to Izuku's desk. Sure, hey Pony, wanna come? Izuku asked, with a smile. Sure, she happily says, and skips to Izuku's desk as well. Hey, yeah, Midori, Mina said, while giving a toothy smile, wanna have lunch? Can we come to Izuku? Momo asked with a blush. She and Jairu were walking to where Izuku and the rest are. Sure, Momo. Izuku smiled. Hey, Green Jairu started, but no need, Jairu. Izuku interjects, I know what you're gonna say, and there's no need to apologize, he said, smiling at her. Still, man, I'm sorry if I offended you, she said, beside the Yaoyorozu heiress. Like I said, it's cool, no need to say those things. Let's just start over, yeah? He said with a grin. Heh, sure, Jairu, just returns the grin. But before the group can leave for the exit, Uraraka opened the door to see a buttload of students crowding on their entrance door. Why are you congregating in front of our classroom? Ida asked the crowd, while also showing that he's a black belt in karate. Uraraka and Tsu wasn't too far away from him. Why is everyone here? Uraraka innocently asked. TCH, a voice they heard behind them. They're here to scout out the competition, Bakugu said. Walking in front of the crowd of students, move aside, extras, I'll beat you at the sports festival, he yelled, looking like a gremlin. Bakugu, you shouldn't call people extra if you do not know their names. Shut up, Four Eyes, the gremlin, Pomeranian hybrid yelled, while looking at Ida. But before the situation can escalate, a purple-haired, sleep-deprived teen cut in front to confront the 1A students. So this is the almighty hero course, the sleep-deprived teen lazily says, from what I can see, you're all just egotistic and arrogant. You're all acting high and mighty because what? He said, looking at the class, you fought some villains and survive? TCH, scout out the competition? No, I'm here to declare war because of your strong and flashy quirks. Students like us, who also wanted to attend the hero course, couldn't, because our quirks is not good enough for the entrance exam. But before the teen can say anything else, Izuku came up to them, pushing aside Bakugu and staring at the crowd of students. Let's just calm down, okay? Izuku tried to defuse the situation. I'm sorry for what our pet said. Pet, I'll kill you, DKU. He doesn't reflect everyone in our class, Izuku smiled. But the teen just keeps on pushing, yeah? What about you, huh? Probably all just acting nice, so we'll think you're different. Your quirk probably helped you on the entrance exam. The teen is now glaring at Izuku, while the other students from behind the teen are murmuring somethings. Come on, dude. Izuku tries to defuse the situation again. You know quirks aren't everything. But before Izuku can finish his sentence, the teen just came close to him. It is, the teen said, with gritted teeth, because of our quirks we were forced to join a different course than what we want. So don't talk like you know our pain. Because I'm quirkless, Izuku said, staring passively at the sleep-deprived teen. The students were surprised on what he said, but Izuku paid no mind on the murmurs and whispers. I got into the hero course because of hard work. Every single day, I trained until I couldn't stand anymore. Add that to the bullying and the trash talk that I received, I still worked hard. So if you think you can just declare a war on students that worked hard for their places, Then start working out. You complain because what? Your quirk isn't good enough. Then work on yourself. Look at your noodle arms. If you're going to declare a war, try to actually act prepared, because I can already see it. You don't train, you just complain, Izuku said, now glaring at the teen, while the other students just keeps whispering to each other. So if you want to declare a war on a class that actually put on the work and tried their hardest to achieve where we are now, and even if some of us complain that we can't do it anymore, we still push it, because the only thing that's holding you down is yourself. So don't trash talk my class for achieving the goal that you couldn't achieve, because you didn't work harder. Learn to improve not just your quirk, but your physical abilities as well, Izuku said, not just to the sleep-deprived teen, but also to the other students. While Izuku's class just feels pride, and they're also thankful for Izuku on how he views them, how he speaks about them. Now some of them really regret underestimating him. So we accept your declaration, Izuku said, looking at the teen in front of him. We'll be waiting in the hero course for any of you to join, he finished with a playful smirk. Now the others were really surprised about that. They thought the hero course student was just trash-talking them, but he was actually encouraging them. Safe to say, people look at Izuku in a different light now, some good, and some were disgusted because he's quirkless and got into the hero course. But one particular person felt ashamed for what he just said and took Izuku's words to heart. I'll show you, he thought with a smirk, I'll achieve my goal too. Izuku and Aizawa was called to meet with Principal Nizu. The little rat, bear, dog hybrid wants to discuss something with the both of them. That's why we can find the father and son student and teacher duo inside the office of the rat, bear, dog Satan. So instead of me practicing for the sports festival, I'm going out on patrols with Aizawa, Izuku said, trying to clarify that this is actually what the rat Satan wants. Yes, Izuku. Nizu spoke with his ever so cheery persona. Plus, instead of training at one of the gyms, you're going out and gaining more experience, and I highly doubt you're going to need more training. You're almost as skilled as most of the top 50 heroes, Nizu said, with a hint of pride in his eyes. And that's one of the deals, remember? Aizawa said, looking at his problem child. We agreed that you're still allowed to do vigilante work, as long as I'm with you. I mean, I've always wanted to join you on patrols, plus Nizu allows me, so it's not really a task that you need to remind me of, Izuku said with a shrug. So I'm guessing you have a mission for us, Izuku said. Looking at Nizu, you wouldn't have called if you're just going to say what you just did, Izuku finished, then takes a sip of his tea that Nizu provided. Correct, Izuku. Nizu happily says there's some news going around that people from multiple parts of the city and districts are going missing. The police haven't found anything at the moment, so they requested my help. But since the sports festival is in 2 weeks' time, I have very little time to do hero work, and the board wants a meeting with me as well, Nizu explained. I heard some rumors about that too. That's why I hacked the city's main source of information gathering, their cameras. I've been looking around, and I found something interesting, Izuku said, typing something on his phone there. Already sent you the info that I found. Me and Aizawa will find out where they're being taken, Izuku finished, standing up to exit the room, Aizawa in tow. While the sleep-deprived hero and the extremely talented teen left, Nizu watched the video that he was sent, and suffice to say, he was surprised to see the same purple mist portal taking people out in the streets at night. So it's the same villains that attacked my students, Nizu spoke to himself. Interesting, he said, before taking a sip from his teacup. Now the duo of Eraserhead and Retr0 are seen atop of a rooftop. Retr0 has one earbud on, listening to his playlist, while Eraserhead is looking at the night street below, waiting for any villains to attack. Retr0 was currently using the CCTVs to survey the area on his laptop. He's wearing his vigilante gear, as well as his normal full mask. There came the modulated voice of Retr0, while Eraserhead just leans a little to look at the laptop that's just a few blocks away. The man clad in black and yellow goggles said. Retr0 hums an affirmative and takes out his quadcopter. I'll provide backup and intel, the young teen said. Keep in touch. Eraserhead just grunts an affirmative and proceeds to jump from rooftop to rooftop while following the quadcopter. You see them, Eraser? Came the voice of Retr0 on his earpiece. Yeah, Eraserhead confirms the upgraded goggles work, he says, while he sees the thugs outlined through walls. Retr0's screen on his mask turned to Carrot. Told you it'll work. I have them in every goggles or mask that I use, the vigilante said. How does this thing even works? Eraserhead asked, getting closer and closer to the thugs that were mugging someone. As long as the quadcopter scans someone, they'll come up on your goggles as red if they're villains, yellow if they're an important person, or if you're trailing someone, while blue and green is friendly, Retr0 said, controlling the quadcopter overhead. The thugs. I'll drop the guy that's guarding the alley, Retr0 said, flying closer to the lone thug and dropping a shock grenade, and instantly, when the grenade's sensors picked up that someone was near it, it exploded in a quiet manner and knocked out the thug. While Eraserhead just dropped down the lowest rooftop and lands on top of a thug that has metal hands, and the thug instantly got taken out. Eraserhead just used his quirk to turn off the other's quirks and goes ham on them. One he roundhouse kicked, and the other he used a dumpster to catapult himself in the air, and axe kicked the thug closes to the civilian, but out of nowhere a bullet almost hit his left shoulder, so he turned around to find 3 more thugs, but before he can take them out, or before the thugs even move in, the quadcopter drone flew above the thugs and dropped another shock grenade, knocking out the villains. Told you I'll provide backup, he heard Retr0's voice spoke on his earpiece, and the drone flew closer to Eraserhead's height to look at him. Thanks, he said, walking to the civilian. By the way, the police is on their way, Retr0 said. The night continues like that, stopping random villain attacks, looking for any suspicious activities, patrolling the rooftops, and sometimes Retr0 even came down with Eraserhead to help him fight. And that happened again right now. Eraserhead used his scarf to throw a villain above his head, and Retr0 kicked the villain, making the poor dude vomit his dinner. Who the heck are these guys? A second villain said. But before anyone can answer, they got pulled by Eraserhead's scarf and got captured, while Retr0 runs to the third villain that can shoot anything that they're holding. But before the villain can activate their quirk, Eraserhead used his on them, so Retr0 used that opening to kick the villain's knee, hard enough to make them kneel down, and hit them with the thunderball. While these villains SCK, Retr0 said with UU expressions on his screen. What do you expect? They're just thugs that uses their quirks illegally. Of course they can't fight like trained individuals, Eraserhead said, tying up the villains together, while Retr0 scales the building to hide from the cops that were going to collect the captured villains. Izuku sighs heavily while sitting down on the couch. So I'm going to patrol with you every night now? Izuku said, resting his head. Aizawa just grunts a yes, and goes to the kitchen and makes some coffee. So what's the plan with the kidnappers? Izuku asked, turning around to look at Aizawa. The video you showed me, those villains, was the same as the one that helped attack the USJ, the sleep-deprived pro said, while walking to the couch with 2 cups of coffee. Yeah, Izuku said, accepting the coffee from his father figure, but I mean, what's the plan there? Are we gonna raid the place? 'Cause I'm still trying to figure out where they are, he said, before taking a sip from his coffee. Nizu said he reported it already. Thanks to your info we can work much more faster. Still, Izuku said, looking down on his cup, I feel like I can do better, he mumbled softly. Aizawa hums, then takes a swig of his own coffee. We'll find them, he said, after downing the whole cup. Izuku just looks at him, blinking multiple times. Did you just drank that in less than 10 seconds, the young vigilante said, blinking at Aizawa. The pro hero just stares at him. So, was the thing that he said, like that was a regular way to drink piping hot coffee? Izuku just keeps blinking at him, but after 30 seconds of silence, he stood up and walked away, not having the energy to figure out how did Aizawa not burn his tongue and throat. Now it was time for the U.Sports Festival. Multiple people, mostly civilians, are seen walking inside the big stadium, all ready to see the next generation of heroes. While the students are seen waiting for them to be called out, hyping themselves up, some trying to calm their nerves, while one boy, our young vigilante, is seen leaning on a wall, eyes closed, arms crossed. Whilst his earbuds are plugged in, he's currently trying to keep his excitement from spilling, trying to calm the fast beat of his heart. But that didn't really work because somebody decided to interrupt him. Midoriya was instantly heard by everyone in the room. Objectively, I'm stronger than you. But it seems a lot of the teachers know who you are. Even All Might is interested in you. I don't know what your connections with him, but I'll beat you, the young Todoroki said impassively as always, her soft glare directed at Izuku. Declaring a war, as well, Todoroki? Izuku said, slightly opening his right eye, while his left is still closed. Like I said to that Gen Ed student, Don't wage a war that you're clearly unprepared for. Izuku just goes back to vibing to some childish Gambino. While Shoko's soft glare instantly turned to an ice-cold one. But she couldn't push it more, because Kirishima decided to calm down the two before anything can go down. But the Pomeranian, gremlin hybrid started to scream at Shoko, saying she declared war on the wrong person and all that Bakuga nonsense. Hey Midori, Mina softly said, Pony, and the Yaoyorozu heiress. Until you are okay, Izuku? Pony asked, standing up on her tippy toes. She started tapping the young vigilante on the shoulder. Izuku takes off his earbuds and looks at the three. Yeah, I'm okay, he said with a soft smile, just trying to keep calm is all. I'm looking forward to competing against you, Izuku, Momo said, still not used to calling Izuku his given name. Izuku smiles at that. I'm looking forward to competing against you as well, Momo, he said with that ever so bright million-watt smile. No fair, he calls her by her given name, while he just calls me Pink. That's literally the color of my skin, Mina pouts, feeling like she's being left behind. You okay there, Pink? Izuku asked, seeing Mina pout. Mina just goes back to reality. Oh, yeah, I'm just thinking about something, she says, looking to the side. A yin for your thoughts? Izuku said, moving a little closer to her and tilting his head to get a better look at Mina's face. Mina just eyes him and says, oh, nothing, she said, looking elsewhere once again. It's just, you called Tsunatori by her given name. Same with Yaomomo, she keeps glancing at Izuku to see what his reaction will be. Oh, was Izuku's intellectual response, do you want me to call you Mina? He said, looking at his friend. Mina just hums, while Momo is just blushing that Mina pointed out they call each other by their given names, while Pony is not getting all of it because she's still not good at Japanese. Oh, okay, then Mina, Izuku smirks, I just thought you liked that I call you Pink because you were the first one in this school that I gave a nickname to. Izuku said, but continues, and if you want me to call you Mina, I want you to call me Izuku in return. Mina just blushed. I don't even call Kiri by his given name, she thought, blushing harder. Sure, I, Izuku, she stuttered. Why did you stutter? She complains internally. Oh ho ho, Izuku did a cat face. Is the outgoing Mina just a shy girl after all? He teased. While Mina just looks away, blushing, Momo was looking at the two, amused seeing her friends interact with one another and feeling something in her chest. Must be the nerves, she thought. Please go outside. In an orderly manner, the speakers went to life and announced. Everyone please form a line in alphabetical order, Ida said, doing the Karate Kid thing. Hello, multimedia people present, Mike screamed, welcome to the yearly sports festival. After Hisashi said that, the people from the crowd started to cheer. Today we are finally starting the first year's events, Hisashi screamed, not needing a mic for the whole stadium to hear him, and in comes the first years that had a real life and death encounter with villains in the first week of them being hero students, Mike announced, and the spectators are now seeing Class 1A enter the stadium, all of them having their chins up, ready for any challenge to come. The famous Class 1A, Hisashi screamed, hyping up the crowd for the students. And of course we can't forget the rest of the first years, he said, and the students from different courses started to file out and walk into the middle of the stadium as well. Class 1 BTO 1K announced present, Mike, clearly showing bias to the hero course, while mostly Class 1A. Of course we get introduced like that, a Gen Ed student solemnly says. It's like we're just cannon fodder for the hero course, another student whispered to their friend. This event is just for the hero course to show how great they are. A support department student was the one that said that, clearly not liking the sports festival. I'll show you, a teen with purple gravity-defying hair thought, that I can achieve my dream too, the teen grins. And our today's umpire Hisashi announced the lovely, our 18 hero Midnight. The audience and the students saw Midnight climb the stage at the center of the arena. She was wearing her usual hero suit, and safe to say that the people that are watching are thinking if she's the right person to be the ref for the first years. Time for the players' pledge, Midnight said, cracking her cat o' nine tails WHP quiet. Everyone, she cracked her WHP once again to stop the talking both from the audience and the students. Representing the students is Izuku Midoriya from the hero course, Class 1A. Huh. Izuku practically screamed. Why is that trash bag the representative? Bakuga screamed in protest. Hell yeah, Midobro, the sharp boy, Kirishima said, while hitting Izuku's back in a friendly and supportive manner. Why Izuku, the American girl, Pony screamed, having her hands up in the air. You can do it, Izumina yelled, calling Izuku a nickname to ease the blush that she currently has. The heiress is just watching the interaction play out. A soft smile plastered on her face. Beside her is her best friend Kyokujiro, who is also watching the shocked form of Izuku. Can you please climb up the stage, handsome? Midnight said while winking at Izuku. When Midnight said that to Izuku, he got some jealous glares from the other students and the audience. Why did no one tell me about this? The young former vigilante mumbled. While we see one, Shota Aizawa in the announcer's booth having a face of mild realization. Guess I forgot to tell the problem child he needed to do a speech, he mumbles, a creepy smile threatening to grow on his face. Show while Hizashi whines, did you forget? Or did you want to punish the little listener? Present Mike sent his accusing gaze at his boyfriend. I forgot, Aizawa said with his ever so creepy smile. Hizashi just rolls his eyes in the pettiness of his lover. Izuku finally went up on stage. Some of the Gen Ed students are whispering to each other, saying of course he's from the hero course, and some smack-talking him, remembering that he's quirkless. Izuku said into the mic. He looks down at his friends, all smiling at him, all of them having that supportive glint in their eyes, and that was the one that gave Izuku the confidence to just speak his mind. Hi was the first word that came out of his mouth. First things first. Welcome to this year's U.A Sports Festival. And let me just say that I'm excited to compete against everyone here. Whether you have a good quirk, useless quirk, or a so-called villainous quirk, let's all have an amazing time showing why we're U.A students, Izuku said, the crowd already liking the attitude of the representative. And let me just tell you all, he continues, pausing for dramatic effect for the people, and for a moment to compose himself, that I, Izuku Midoriya, is U.A's first ever quirkless student. After Izuku said that, people started to gasp in surprise, and almost every student can hear the whispers going around the stadium after Izuku's announcement. Yes, I'm quirkless, he said proudly, rightfully ignoring the people's judgments, and I'm here today to show you to not judge a person by their quirks. Izuku continues, getting the people's attention once again. Even though there are some shouting profanities at him, be it the quirkless, the people that have what society calls villainous quirks, or the people that have useless or weak quirks. I'm going to show everyone that you're all wrong to judge us because you think we're beneath you, beneath. The people that have strong or flashy quirks, Izuku said, fiercely looking at the audience and the students. I'm here to change what society treats as normal. I'm here to show everyone that yes, they too can become a hero. Izuku stated that whatever quirk that you're born with, or without, you too can achieve your dreams, be it being a hero, an engineer, a successful business person, or any other profession that you may want. Don't let people stop you. Don't let people say that you can't do it because you don't have the quirk for it. Just do it. Show everyone. Show the world that you can do anything that you set your mind to. Show everyone that you can achieve anything. Show everyone that you are not to be trifled with. Show everyone that you, every single one of you, the people that got called useless, the people that get ridiculed every single day for believing in a dream that you want to achieve, the people that get discriminated against for having villainous quirk, the people that put themselves down because they always get push. Aside for someone that has a flasher quirk than you, the people that always get treated badly because of their appearance, the people that are misunderstood, let us be defiant. Let us show everyone that we don't care about what they call us. Let's show everyone that we can do anything. Let's show every single MF out there that we can be as great as anyone that we look up to. We can be useful, we can be appealing, we can be anything that we want to be. We can be heroes, so let's do our best and go plus ultra. The whole stadium erupted from the speech of one quirkless kid. A kid that people judged because of his quirk or lack thereof. A kid that they already showed disinterest because he had no quirk. A kid that changed multiple people's view. A kid that has a dream to change the society that he lives in. A kid that has a dream to save every single person that needs saving, be it mentally or physically. And, oh, did I forget? This is his story. A story of how 1. Izuku Midoriya became the greatest hero, even if he is quirkless. Such a wonderful speech from our first-year representative. Midnight announce. Now, she stated, cracking her WHP, let's start this year's UA Sports Festival. We see Izuku going down the steps, students from different courses looking at him with some assorted looks, from awe to being recognized. Some discovered newfound respect for the young ex-vigilante. That speech should be played in every sports festival from now on, Hisashi said. Wiping a few teardrops, that is going to be the most memorable speech that has been said in our school's history, he voiced, forgetting the mic was on. Aizawa kicked Hisashi on the legs when he said that biased opinion. Let's just start this thing, Aizawa said, really done with life. That was an amazing. Izuku, Pony said she was the first one waiting for Izuku. That was incredible. Izuku and Mina was the next to cheer. Indeed, the heiress spoke. Beside her is Jiru. That was a magnificent display of determination and sportsmanship, she smiled. For a guy that is always listening to rap music, Jiru stated, you can really hype a crowd. Well, I guess you really are a devoted rap fan, she grinned. Izuku chuckled at all the praise he's getting. Thank you, girls. He smiled. I just want people to know that I'm serious with this first Quirkless hero thing. Well, that was a good way to show it. Bro Kirishima came out of nowhere and started to give Izuku a noogie. That was the manliest thing that I've ever heard, he shouted after Izuku pushed him away, whilst laughing. You know how many times I cried? Bro, he asked. The still laughing Izuku, I cried 8 times, and that was still the first half, Kirishima stated, a few tears leaking out. Okay, Izuku said, still chuckling. I get it was manly, but we need to be ready for the first event. Yeah, his friends replied. Let's do our best. Now that everyone is calmed down, let us see what the first event is going to be. Midnight spoke through the microphone. A screen full of activities is shown in the massive TV billboard, events ranging from team events, solo events, and of course, a 50/50 student royale. But the event that was chosen was the obstacle course. Screamed present Mike. A 4-kilometer course built around the arena. Yeah, the obstacle course is full of, you guessed it, obstacles. The student must race to get first place. But suddenly Aizawa spoke, hitting his boyfriend in the head. They don't need to get first place. They just need to be in the top 42 so they can participate in the next event, Eraserhead informs. Well, isn't that comforting? Izuku mumbled under his breath, a mischievous smile growing on his face. Did you say something, Izuku? Pony asked with a head tilt. Oh. Izuku looks at her. Nothing. I was just thinking of something, he said, smiling. You always think of something amazing, so I don't have any doubt you'll win this. She praises her crush. You hold me in a too high of a pedestal. Izuku chuckled. I'm not that amazing. Well, not as amazing as you guys. Izuku commends while looking at his friend group. Pony and some of the girls who understood and are standing near heard that and blushed. Let's get this thing started. Yeah, Hisashi screamed after Shota profusely apologized for hitting him too hard. Well, profusely is a strong word, because he just hugged him and said, I'm sorry, you were just so annoying, and they made up. The students are now seen all cramped inside one big butt corridor, trying to be the first one who gets out of the gate. Some of Izuku's friends are at the front, and the main BOI himself is standing in the back. He's seen still inside the stadium, hands inside his pockets. What is the lil listener doing? Mike asked his boyfriend. I don't know, was Aizawa's answer. He didn't talk to me about him having a plan. I'm guessing he's just going to make fun of people again, he stated with a sigh. Hisashi chuckled at that. That does sound like the lil listener, he said. But then, oh, and babe, can you please give more energy? Mike gave a pleading smile to Shota. No, but you agreed to commentate with me, Hisashi whined, putting his head on Shota's shoulders. You dragged me into the booth an hour ago, saying there's free coffee and adorable cats inside. Because Nizu was being generous, he gave a flat stare. I should have known it was a lie. Hisashi kissed his cheeks and said, yeah, but the real reason you agreed is that because you love me. No, I don't, Aizawa said, facing away from him. Just say you do. Dadzawa came the voice of one Izuku Midoriya, who was looking at them with a teasing smile. The two were caught off guard, that they fell from their seats. When they got up, they saw Izuku laughing his butt off down at the field. If you're still listening, I swear there's no patrol for you for 2 weeks, Aizawa hissed. Aight, Fina go, by they heard him say from the speaker inside the booth. Yeah, walk away. No pizza for dinner too, Aizawa mumbled. But he suddenly heard Hisashi gasp. No, he breathed. You wouldn't? Aizawa looked at his boyfriend with furrowed brows. Yes, I would. No cuddles if you do. No. Shota said under his breath. You wouldn't dare. Hisashi looked at his boyfriend with triumph. I would. While we see Izuku have a happy smile on his face, seeing, or hearing, his two guardians be themselves. Now, he sighed. Time to give them a reason to not forget my name. His smile turned into a mischievous one. Is that music? Asked some people in the crowd. I think present Mike is going to play music, another said. But why play it when the event is about to start? Questioned a person near them. Midoriya playing music again? 13 casually asked the teachers, who are in the VIP booth, with some of the top 10 heroes. The brat that gave the speech? A female who has rabbit ears asked with a raised eyebrow. Indeed, Ms. Mirko Nizu smiled. He is our most promising student yet, he said, giving his biased opinion on his private student. And it is true that he is quirkless? Asked Deadshot. Yes, he is, answered All Might in his skinny form. While that was happening, Izuku was just in the back watching everyone get frozen by Shoko. Then Izuku casually stretches, and when the lyrics to the song played, he skillfully jumped over some people. He used one guy's head to bounce off of it, and wall runs for a short while. When he landed, he dashed across a downed student who was at the robot inferno. Izuku didn't stop running, a smile present on his face. He jumped over an attack by a two-pointer robot, and in midair, he spins around and hit the two-pointer in the head with his ever-so-trusty Thunderball. And there goes the first year's representative showing OFF. Mike screamed into the mic, while the students try not to die from the falling zero-pointer thanks to Todoroki. But they suddenly saw a three-pointer bot flying in the air. The robot shot its missiles on the ground to use it to propel the thing in the air, while the spectators see a student is actually on the robot. And that student is Izuku Midoriya. What crazy things are we going to see today? The ex-Vigilante was soaring in the air to get to the zero-pointers that were blocking the way for everyone. When Izuku got to the top of the zero-pointer, he smashed the side of its neck to open some sort of wiring system. Izuku smirked to himself, the same smirk that he learned from Nizu. He grabbed the thickest wire and gave it a quick and strong pull to check if it can hold. What the hell is the problem child doing? Aizawa asked with a defeated sigh. Doing what he does best. Mike grinned. Yeah, giving me gray hair. That and doing, Mike stated with a grin, but when he saw what Izuku did, he just fell silent. Izuku was currently falling down the side of the zero-pointer while holding on to the wire that he grabbed and is screaming like an idiot on a roller coaster. That kid is crazy were some of the crowd's reactions, while some are just too dumbstruck to react at all. But in the VIP booth, some are facepalming seeing what their most promising student is doing something idiotic, but one person was laughing like a maniac. I like this kid, he's crazy, she screamed. There was also another person, or animal, laughing like a crazed psychopath, and that was Nizu. When Izuku landed, he just kept running while laughing, running across some of his classmates, some other students from other courses, and when they reached the fall, if you fall you are out, Hisashi screamed. But don't worry, you won't die, he nonchalantly added. Izuku stopped for a second to look at what is under the fall, and when he did, he just saw nothing. Okay, challenge accepted, he said with a cheeky smirk. Izuku saw Tsu just casually jumps on the rope, and he did the same. He is masterfully running across it, while the other students are having a disastrous time balancing with other people on the same rope. Good thing I did this before, Izuku thought, while running across the rope like a ninja. But let's show off a little, he grinned to himself. Izuku suddenly leaned to the right and fell off the rope. Mike was screaming about something. Nizu has a raised eyebrow, waiting for what his student is planning, and Aizawa was rolling his eyes, already knowing what his problem child is going to do, because he pulled the same thing when they did their patrols. Izuku swung his Thunderball around the rope and used it to swing to a different platform. When he landed, he then hit the ground near the edge using his Thunderball, where the rope is connected, and when the rocks fell off, the rope was showed. He took it and swung across to the end. Before landing to a roll, he did a flip in the air for style points. Right now he is in the first place position. Right behind him is Bakugo, who was non-stop yelling profanities at Izuku, who was ignoring him, and Shoko, who has her sight on Izuku. When the three got to the minefield, Izuku stopped and looked at the two who had just passed him. Should I? He thought to himself. I would, he chuckled. Izuku was now running swiftly across the minefield, expertly dodging the mines planted, and throwing some low-end grenades that he had in his bag. The crowd was unsurprisingly slack-jawed at what Izuku is showing them. He was skillfully showing what he is made of, easily overcoming the obstacle course, nimbly moving across the field like it was a gymnastic course, swiftly passing every student he comes across. But when he passed by the struggling forms of Bakugo and Todoroki, when he was about to cross the finish line, when he was about to win the race, he stopped. Shoko passed him first. Next was Bakugo, who was looking at him wide-eyed when he did. And he got third. The crowd was confused seeing what just happened. Mike was complaining that he lost a bet against Aizawa. Nizu was laughing his butt off in the VIP booth. While Mirko was kinda set off that the kid she was cheering on gave up, Midnight was confused the same, goes for Shoko. While Bakugu was seen stomping his way to a smirking Izuku. "Oh, what was that? I don't want a cheap race," he yelled, drawing multiple eyes on them. "You looking down on me, you quirkless, how are you?" But before he can explode Izuku, Cementos used his quirk to surround the angry gremlin in a cocoon of cement and let the nurse bots take him. While that was happening, Shoko was just looking at Izuku, face still impassive. Why did he stop? She thought, as long as I won. I don't care. She then looked at the crowd, seeing her father looking down at her with a glare, as long as I can spite him. "Welcome back, mass multimedia people," Hisashi screamed from the top of his lungs. Thanks to that short break, the students are already given the items they need, and what might that be, I hear you ask? Mike strapped something on his forehead that had the UA logo on it. "When we were playing the ads while on a break, we already chose the next event," Hisashi informed the home viewers. "That's why it's better to watch in the stadium, folks. You'll see everything that is happening, but don't worry, the people watching at home, you're helping us pay the bills by watching the ads, so thanks," he said, acting like the people watching weren't offended. A loud crack of a WHB got everybody's attention. "Since you all have your headbands, you all know the rules," Midnight spoke. "Whoever got the last place last event will get the lowest points. And of course, the first place is getting the 10 million points." Hisashi interrupted Nomuri while Aizawa was staring out at the students with a blank face, already used to his lover being this loud. When Nomuri and the other teachers distributed the headbands, people kept eyeing Shoko, and no, not because of her curvy body, but because of the way she kept glaring at whoever was in front of her. Icy glare mixed with a hot face, and yeah, people will stare at you. "Izuku, you want to team up?" Pony bounced up to Izuku, who was looking at someone that he had worked with before. Izuku looked at Pony and smiled. "Are you sure you want to team up with me? I have the third most amount of points," he warned. "Silly Izuku," she smiled. "I don't care about that as long as I'm with you. I'm okay with anything," she said with happiness radiating off her, but blushed, realizing just what she said. "I didn't mean it like that," she frantically tried to say, to the laughing, slightly blushing Izuku. Some of the girls already broke off, like Mina, who joined Katsuki's team because Kirishima wanted to challenge Izuku. Momo was about to join Izuku's team, but Shoko asked her to join her team. She reluctantly agreed because of the plan the Ice Queen told her. Jiro didn't know who she should join, but lucky Izuku tapped her shoulder and pointed at himself. Then to Pony. "Want to join our team? I have a plan." He smiled. Jiro smirked. "Knowing you, it must be fun." Izuku mirrored that smirk. "You know it." He gestured his head to one more person. So he, Jiro, and Pony went to the pleading Pinkette, who was currently bugging Shoko, Momo, Ida, and Denki. "Hey, Dreadlocks," Izuku called. Looking back, she got her slightly chubby cheeks poked by a smiling Izuku. "Want to join my team?" he asked with raised eyebrows. "Gren," she happily screamed after she looked at who poked her. Her pleading look changed to joy instantly when she saw Izuku. "Of course I'll join you, partner," she said, walking away from Shoko's team, completely forgetting what she was doing there. Izuku chuckled but delivered a hand chop on Mei's head. "You forgot about me, didn't you?" He looked at her with a fake look of anger. "You got your eyes on the 10 million points. That you forgot your beloved partner in the lab." Izuku did a lil humph and looked away, while not so sneakily looking at Mei's reaction. While Mei was thinking of an excuse, "Well, it's the sports festival, the sponsors need to see my babies," she said with triumph, her chin raised. Izuku hummed. I forgive you. Just don't forget your partner and #1 client next time." He gave her a wink. Yes, she said while smiling, dismissively waving her hand. "So what's the plan?" She gushes. "Huddle up," Izuku called to the 3 girls. "What inventions did you bring, Dreadlocks? You girls know what to do?" Izuku asked once again, with a smirk this time. Each of them gives their version of yes. "Good." He patted their heads. "Just follow me, and I'll happily assist your victories." Izuku smiled at the blushing forms of Pony, Jiro, and the not-so-bothered Mei. Hatsum already got accustomed to him giving her head pats whenever they were at the lab working together on something. Since Izuku can't always buy them food, he just resorted to giving her head pats. He was totally not influenced by Aizawa giving the cats head pats at home. "But what happens if you fall?" Jiro asked him. "Then I'll trust you to catch me." He gave her a million-watt smile. "I trust all of you. That's why we're a team, ain't it? He chuckled. So worry not about the details. Worry about how we're going to make everyone notice us. Izuku subconsciously grew a Niza type of grin. Because people won't know what hit him, he stated while checking the inside of his bag. Looks like Izuku has something in store for us, quipped the supreme rat god. And knowing my student, it will be glorious. He laughed like the maniac that he is, clapping his hands like a seal. Is he like a personal student of yours? Edshot asked, his gaze still looking down on the field of students. You couldn't tell? Toshinori sarcastically mumbled to himself. He is, was what Nizu replied, not wanting to elaborate further. He already disappointed me on the first event, so I ain't betting my money on him this time, Mirko said as she took a bite out of her carrot. Nizu raised an eyebrow at that. I bet he's going to get first place in this event, Nizu stated while smirking. Bias much, Nizu? Crust uttered. Not really a biased decision, more like a logical one. He said, focusing on his student on the field. He saw Izuku fiddling with something inside his bag, and I bet 5 million yen for Izuku. Whoever wants to bet, go talk to my secretary, he stated while eyeing Mirko. I bet 2 million on Endeavor's brat, Mirko said, her gaze not leaving the cold, icy eyes of the student. Yen? Nizu smirked, already knowing his opponent. U.S. dollars, she slowly grinned. Unless you don't trust your brat to win against Endeavors? She taunted, the other heroes disagreeing with what the two were planning but decided not to interfere. The two animals in the room shook hands, both smirking like they already knew who was going to win. I guess we are going to get more budget, the sadistic rat laughed inside his mind. The hero's attention got captured by the loud screams and cheers of the crowd. It seems it's starting, voiced Ryukyu, her empty carriage carton resting on her armrest. Now, let's go, Hizashi screamed, counting down to the brutal battle royal, the radio host enthusiastically declared. All that happened while Aizawa was squinting his eyes at his problem child. 1, 2, 3. Start midnight, yelled while cracking her WHB. I was counting up to 10. Inium present Mike whined while the crowd cheered at all the students barreling towards Shoko and her team. Izuku saw this and smirked. Maybe I should start a side hustle where I predict people's futures, he said to himself. What were you saying, Izuku? Pony asked while running close to the outside boundary. Oh, nothing. Just patting myself on the back for another right prediction. Oh, Izuku exclaimed while they turned left to not go out of bounds. And another one when we win, he grinned. You girls know what to do? He excitedly asked. When the 3 girls cheered, he jumped off and threw his hoverboard on the field. Ayo, turn up the radio, let's blast that stereo, he hollered as his playlist started to play on the stadium speakers. Power loader letting the music continue to play because they both know Izuku can easily hack into the systems again within a few seconds after kicking him out. I am not going to handle all the copyright claims this gets from all the unlicensed songs, Cementos said as he leaned back on his chair. Oh, don't worry about that, Ishiyama, Nizu claimed. Because I already bought them when Izuku said his playlist was on Spotify. I immediately bought the rights so we wouldn't get sued when he expectedly play his music on the sports festival. The students stopped and looked at Izuku for a quick moment. They all shouted different complaints about him leaving his teammates and getting off the horse. But Mike read the rule that said, as long as he didn't touch the ground, he and his team are still allowed to participate. So the students went back to targeting Todoroki. No use in fighting a jack-in-the-box that is Midoriya. Izuku weaved and swerved across the open field as the beat and guitar started to play. A massive grin plastered on his face as he stole an unsuspected victim's headband while he waved at them. Give that back, screamed a random extra from Class 1B. How about no? Izuku quipped back while giving them the finger as he stuck his tongue out. First phases ago, Izuku mused to himself as he tied the stolen headband around his head. The cameras showed his massive grin while the music continued to blast across the field. Cheers from the crowd mixed with the adrenaline Izuku was feeling. This was it, his time to finally shine, to finally show that he ain't useless. As Izuku rode around his board, dodging all the incoming attacks coming from the different students, he couldn't help the smile growing on his face. Finally, some action, he murmured whilst unhooking his thunderball from his bag, left hand still grasping his phone. Riding steadily, Izuku spun his weapon as his phone found the information he needed. Eyes watching the team heading straight for him, their rider skiing in a lot of air. Koziite Tsuburaba. Quirk, solid air. Solid air allows the user to solidify air to form constructs such as walls and platforms through their breath. Class 1B. Izuku's phone displayed the information he needed along with the picture of the cozy-eyed Tsuburaba. This'll be interesting, he thought as Cozy-Eye and his team attacked the vibing Izuku. Smirking, Izuku felt confident he could take this team on easily, but as he looked up at Cozy-Eye, only one person was carrying him now. It was a sunny day out as the sports festival was taking place. Big, bright clouds littered the sky, and the field, from time to time, was covered with shadows. Dodging the attack from Cozy-Eye, Izuku jumped and kick-flipped his board and caught it in midair, standing on the platform that his opponent made. Izuku SED in air through gritted teeth. "You trying to decapitate me, or something?" he cried out while shaking his fist in the air like an old man in the cartoons. "No," stated Cozy-Eye, trying to stifle the smirk growing on his lips. "You better watch your step, Midoriya." Not running at Izuku anymore, Cozy, piggyback riding on Son Kaibara, blew a quick gust of air at Izuku, trying to trap his advance. Looking at the solid air in front of him, Izuku was kinda confused with what the hell these two were doing. And weren't there 3 of them? Izuku asked himself. Breathing out, kinda disappointed in himself, the young vigilante finally realized what these students from 1B were planning. Throwing his gaze to his phone, but not before giving the 2 students a stink eye, Izuku found the list of the groups for the cavalry battle. His eyes dart from name to name, trying to find Cozy-Eye's name and who he's with. Finally landing on the buggers, Izuku found the 3rd missing member, Shirhai Kurwaro. Shirhai Kurwaro. Quirk, black. The user's quirk allows him to merge into objects that are dark in color. Class 1B. Sighing, Izuku really was disappointed in himself. He knew better than to underestimate his opponents. These ain't untrained criminals after all. They were UA students for a reason. Screaming from below him, Kurwaro reached from the vigilante's feet. "Gotcha," he bellowed, a grin present on his face. "No way can a quirkless nobody like him can outmatch us 3. He thought, gripping the cuffs from Izuku's breaths. "Nice one, Shinhai," screamed Kaibara and Cozy-Eye, smirks present on their face. "Don't get cocky just cause you got into 1A, Midoriya," Cozy-Eye laughed. "Pull that guy down," Shinhai Kaibara exclaimed loudly while grunting from exhaustion because Cozy was slipping and he was pretty heavy. "And help me with Cozy," who knew he was this heavy. "Hey, man," the solid air user shouted. "I've been working out, okay?" Feeling his feet get pulled out from under him, Izuku rolled his eyes while swinging his thunderball behind, hitting Kurwaro in the cheeks. As the white-haired teen hit the ground, feeling like his teeth were broken to hundreds of pieces, Izuku smacked his head on the air platform Cozy-Eye created earlier. Flipping in the air, Izuku grunted while equipping his hoverboard. Rubbing his head, Izuku dodged the charging bull that was Cozy-Eye and Kaibara. The 2 were trying to get the headband on Izuku's head. Ugh, how did he react to that? Screamed Cozy, reorienting Kaibara to charge Midoriya with another charge attack. "Simple, you fools," Izuku stated, standing on his hoverboard and not moving from his place. "Y'all were predictable." He shrugged his shoulders whilst the 2 were charging into the vigilante. Stretching his arms, Izuku was readying his swing. "Hey, bada bada swing," the vigilante screamed from the top of his lungs while he swung his thunderball at Kaibara's stomach. Crouching while he swung, Izuku managed to dodge the attack by Cozy-Eye, and the 2 1B students fell to the ground as Kaibara's ribs were probably fractured from that attack. Hissing, "Sorry, man," Izuku said, looking worried. "Team Tsuburaba is out." Another batch of 1B students heading to the stands, Mike screamed while getting smacked by his boyfriend in the head. "Don't say it like that. You'll only discourage the students further," Aizawa grunted from his seat. Catching his breath, Izuku headed back to his team, dodging the other team's fighting. Only a couple of minutes left. I guess it's time to start phase 2. Watching what Izuku was doing, the girls ran close to the chaos that is Todoroki's team. "Hey, greeny time to do YA thing," came from the smirking Jairu. Pony was unsurprisingly the head of the horse, Jairu on the right side, while Mei was on the left. All of them with smirks on their face as they watched Izuku steal another headband from the extras with ease. "Let's do this thing," screamed the grinning vigilante. Running head first into the barrage of ice that Todoroki had produced on the battlefield, Pony and the rest of the gals dodged with precision. No other team was paying them mind as their rider wasn't even on the horse. Their run to the 10 million points was a breeze. Well, except for the bodies of their friends and classmates flying past them as Yaoyorozu had created an airgun to throw the other contestants to the side. Noticing the song change, Mei's eyes started to dilate, and her grin widened. Phase 2 has started, she thought as she saw the investors with their clipboards all murmuring to themselves about the inventions being shown. You haven't seen anything yet, she cackled, her eyes shifting to Izuku's red boots. With a massive grin on his face, it seemed like it didn't even shrink, even for a second. Izuku found his opportunity as he saw the broad shoulders of Shoji slumped over a down Mineta. It wasn't the best ramp, but who was he to deny the opportunity given to him by the gods? You are welcome, my child. Riding fast, he tapped his phone screen, and a loud roar of rockets came to life. The rocket boots he and Mei had built were finally ready to be shown to the public. Skating over Shoji, the teen propelled himself to the air as the rockets lifted him high in the sky, a wide smirk present on his lips. His hoverboard landed close to the battle for the 10 million points. He just hoped that someone would trip over it for a little bit of entertainment. Screaming joyously, the young vigilante flipped and posed in the air. Pointing his finger guns to the people with clipboards on the stand, the teen showed off the sleek design of the rocket boots, with thick soles to have the components hidden, and the almost invisible flames from the rockets. "WHOH, that's my baby," Mei screamed from the top of her lungs. Jiru side-eyed her, while Pony was smiling at how much fun Izuku was having. Happy for her friend who was finally enjoying himself. Testing, testing. Things just got more interesting, Izuku sang as he flew close to the ground, gliding his hands on the field as he drowned from the adrenaline. She's dressed in a vest pin, double-breasted holster, he continued to sing, flipping around an attack from Yaoyorozu, who watched the teen rocket his way up once again. Skipping the next line, Midoriya's smirk was now seen by everyone. The bright, brilliant emerald orb showed how much the teen was enjoying this exhibition. Tapping his phone to give commands to the boots, it stopped propelling him, and he was now freely soaring through the sky, like the Freebird solo with how much aura he was getting. Diving head first straight to the ground, the young vigilante continued to sing. She lets me closer, hotter than pepper-crusted samosa. While I try to keep my composure, activating his boots once again, he narrowly avoided the ground as he was now flipping and gliding in the air. Eyes followed him with delight as the crowd was getting louder and louder with each daring trick was performing. Todoroki couldn't keep her eyes on the rambunctious teen as her problems kept on coming back in the form of a blonde gremlin screaming profanities at her. Luckily for her, Yaoyorozu kept her cool and was keeping an eye out for the competition. She watched and worried about how reckless Midoriya was being. Her heart couldn't handle all that excitement. Incoming Ida shouted as they saw Midoriya pass them with a loud screech of excitement. Tinya was absolutely going to scold Izuku for this. Midoriya signaled to the girls as he saw Yaoyorozu make a small EMP-type grenade. Izuku chuckled to himself. A bit predictable Momo. Pony and the rest of the girls ran closer to the center of the chaos. They saw how fierce Bakugo was, and how cold Todoroki was. As Izuku predicted, Jiru watched as she saw Izuku fly close to Todoroki, trying to steal the headband. But before the vigilante could fly away, he noticed that his phone and boots were turned off. Smirking to herself, Jiru was surprised by how Midoriya read Yaoyorozu's fighting style. Now the vigilante screamed, diving once again head first. He outstretched his arm as he smiled down at the surprised face of the Todoroki princess. Before he could touch the headband, the young Midoriya swung his thunderball at the oncoming gremlin that was about to attack him. Dispatching Bakugo easily, Midoriya grabbed the 10 million as Todoroki's fire side started to flare, her eyes slightly watering from the wind that picked up below them. Yaoyorozu was aiming her air shotgun at the teen above. It felt like time stopped for Izuku, all the adrenaline, all the excitement, all the eyes on him. He could live with this. He just needed to remember not to drown in it. With a loud bang, the falling form of Midoriya flew straight back up, being caught by Jiru with the help of her earphone jacks. Midoriya tried to reach for the headband once again, but was dragged back onto the horse. "Did you get it?" Jiru asked as Midoriya stared at his hand. The crowd's cheering felt like he had succeeded, but his grip was empty. "Sorry, but no." Izuku spoke, staring at Yaoyorozu as she smiled at him. "What?" asked Mei as she thought he got the band for sure. She believed in him. I thought for sure you got it, Jiraiya mused, her ears picking up how the Todoroki princess praised the Yaoyorozu heiress. TSK, let's just do this the old-fashioned way, Izuku said, his voice low. Pony glared at Yaoyorozu for ruining Izuku's plans. She aimed her horns at the opposing team as she and the girls ran toward the icy hot princess. Loud cackling sounded inside the booth. With the teacher's ass, Maruko was smacking her knee from the scene she just witnessed. I thought your student was this amazing mastermind, she started, her smirking growing by the second. But it seems he's just an average kid with luck on his side. Nizu kept his composure. He believed in Izuku, and he could never disappoint. Not once did he underestimate the boy, young as he is. The kid proved himself skilled in many fields. Nizu just hasn't figured out what the game plan is here. I thought for sure young Midoriya got that, mused Yagi, his popcorn bucket half empty with how exciting this battle was. Who was he kidding? He was just watching the young vigilante with how skilled he carried himself. He didn't need to pretend anymore. He really believed the kid could be it, his successor. Here it is, folks. The time you have been waiting for, the last minute of the battle. What could the outcome be? Who's going to win this? Which team would be on the top, and who would eat the dirt? Came the voice of Present Mike. The cheers of the crowd grew louder as all the standing teams rushed the Todoroki princess. For sure I saw Izuku got that point. Nizu mused to himself. I can't be mistaken. I can't end it like this, Midoriya roared as he and his team raced toward Shoko. She encased herself and her team around an ice igloo. The distorted view of the ice princess annoyed Midoriya. He made it all this way only to not finish at the top? That's just wrong. Chiming. He heard his phone power back on. With a smirk, he ordered Pony to shoot at the igloo. Roger that. Izuku came from the determined girl, her eyes set on the icy structure. As it cracked the surface, Midoriya noticed that Team Bakugo was also destroying the other side of the igloo, but the young Todoroki princess kept her gaze on the young vigilante, not even paying mind to the explosive gremlin who kept destroying her igloo. But she just kept rebuilding, not even looking at the gremlin's way. But to her surprise, the BSDRD destroyed the igloo and got in with the help of Kirishima and Mina, disturbing the recreation of the other side of the igloo. Poking his arms before the ice princess could recreate the igloo, Shark Boy tore the ice as he roared and launched forward. Stop ignoring me, you CNT, Bakugo screamed as he sent explosions one after another. Seeing his chances, Midoriya launched his Thunderball with the help of his rocket boots. Shattering the ice igloo, the vigilante and his team rushed inside as well, giving the viewers a distorted battle from within. To his surprise and joy, his Thunderball didn't stop after shattering the igloo, but kept going and smashed Bakugo straight to the head, knocking the teen and his team out of the game. Seeing the Todoroki princess shift her gaze toward himself, Izuku smirked as he dropped a smoke bomb. Where are they? Asked Ida, trying to protect his team. Kaminari-san, the young heiress called. Separate from us and use your full power. Yaoyorozu made a large, thick insulated sheet to cover her and the rest of her team. Aight, the stupid-looking teen said with a thumbs up. He was finally going to help. Better make this one count. He smirked as he readied his quirk. Indiscriminate shock, 1.3 million volts. Not being able to clearly see what was happening inside due to the smoke and the ice, the crowd stayed silent as a bright yellow light emitted from the inside. Now that's one way, T.O. in the battle, screamed Present Mike, the smile not leaving his face. After seeing the aftermath, we should see who made it out with the 10 million points. Mused Aizawa with his coffee cup empty already. As the ice exploded, it looked like glitter was falling down the battlefield, smoke slowly dissipating, finally giving the crowd and the teachers a proper view of the aftermath. On one end, Kaminari stood with his thumbs out with a derpy-looking expression adorning his face. Beside him, his teammates rose from the insulated sheet. The crowd cheered louder and louder as they were the only ones on the battlefield still standing. The icy stare of the Todoroki princess seems to contort into shock at what happened. She was glad Yaoyorozu was on her team. She could have lost many times over without her. But wait, the sudden shout of Present Mike cut through the cheering crowd. She was confused. What was going on? It seems like Todoroki's headband is gone. Yaoyorozu and Ida stared at the young icy princess's head, and to her surprise, it was indeed not there. Babe, what do we do in this type of situation? Mike asked his boyfriend as Aizawa was already rolling his eyes hearing what was on the speakers. Uncloaking and slowly descending down the field. Midoriya had his arms wide open. His face looked calm and composed, and his eyes closed. The shocked look on the crowd's faces could not be described. What seemed to be like a fever dream came to life. The young vigilante slowly hovered down as his team's rocket boots slowly guided them to the ground. Icy glitter falling on them and the smoke slowly dispersing. The vigilante slowly opened his eyes, and bad mistakes, he sang, unhurriedly climbing down the horse that is his teammates. He could not stop the cocky smirk crawling to his face, but he needed this performance to be great. Stifling his smirk, he continued to walk in front of his opponents. I made a few, he continued to sing. I've had my share of sand kicked in my face, but I've come through. He finally let his smirk run wild as he couldn't stop it anymore. Bringing up his phone, he deactivated his spider bot's camouflage as it stood on his head grasping the 10 million points headband. We are the champions, my friends, he sang, his voice powerful yet soft at the same time. His brilliant, radiant eyes expressed what could only be called pride, as he finally had a moment to show that he wasn't useless, that he could achieve anything. Seeing the crowd cheer, clapping, and shouting, finally not exclaiming of prejudice, but of affection, encouragement, and awe. He felt like he could cry a whole river. He really was the son of Inko Midoriya, but this wasn't the time. This is the time to show everyone watching that they shouldn't sleep on him, the future of this world, the one to save humanity from despair, the one to shine a bright light on the discriminated, the one to usher in a new era, the one to save millions of lives, the one that everyone strives to be like. So, this was the end of this series. Stay tuned for next part of this series, and if you like this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Until next time.